Chapter 3458. The first chapter. Everyone, please help support the monthly tickets for top quality young master cultivation. Thank you. There's still a second chapter, you can still watch it tomorrow. So, Linny paused and asked. My master's name is Yang Ming, and Lin Dongfang is my grandfather. Do you know them? After hearing Lin Yi's words, Kun Siyun seemed to have lost all his strength. He knelt on the ground, and his face became extremely pale. So you're the descendant of Mr. Lin and Mr. Yang. I was really blind, I offended you. Don't kill me. I can be your subordinate. Just don't kill me. Thinking of Lin Dongfang and Yang Ming's invincibility, even after so many years, Kun Siyuan's mental defense still collapsed in an instant. He couldn't bring himself to fight against Lin Yi and Er Gooden anymore. When a person knew that his strength was far from being the opponent's opponent, then he wouldn't fight pointlessly anymore. So, Kun Siyuan chose to surrender. He had to surrender. Punime was so powerful, but she was definitely dead now. There was no need to think about it. Although the King Kong Gu was powerful, it was trash in front of the complete version of the Hercules Gu. Plus, Punime didn't cultivate the complete version of the Hercules Gu, but a modified version of the obviously weaker King Kong Gu. So you do know them. Linny wasn't too surprised his own master had been part of the investigation department back in the day, and Linny wouldn't have been able to join the department so early on if it weren't for that relationship. He still had a lot of connections with them even now. As for Lin Dongfang, he lived in the Miajiang area, so it wasn't surprising that he knew Kun Siyuan. But what's the use of keeping you? Linny said lightly. I don't lack subordinates. In the entire Central Plains, many families and sects are my vassals. I have many followers, and I don't lack you. But there aren't any in Southeast Asia. Our right Miao clan can also become young hero Lin's vassals and follow your lead. I'll do whatever you want me to do. Kun Siyuan was a person who knew his place. In order to survive, he didn't care about his pride. I still don't think it's useful. You're so far away from me, I'm useless. Linny shook his head. I know the big secret. I can surrender and be a spy. Kun Siyuan suddenly shouted. Oh? What do you mean? Lin Yi's interest was piqued. Big secret? What big secret does Kun Siyuan know? What could he use to surrender? As for the undercover agent he mentioned, what was that all about? What do you know? Surrender to what? Linny looked at Kun Siyuan and said faintly. If I'm satisfied with what you say, I can consider letting you go. In fact, what Kun Siyuan said before was right. He was already a sect in Southeast Asia. In theory, he was not under the jurisdiction of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. If the Supernatural Investigation Bureau really wanted to destroy Right Miao clan, it was bound to offend the local sects and cultivators. Although the sects and cultivators here were not particularly strong and were only at the level of the hidden families, it was not a good thing after all. Therefore, it was not impossible for Kun Siyuan to save his life. Lin Yi had always been a person who wanted to subdue and use him. For example, Brother Defeng, Lin Yi was very comfortable with him. If it weren't for him, it would be difficult for Lin Yi to find Pangolin. Therefore, for people like Kun Siyuan, once he was convinced, he could use him. It's like this. Back then, your master, Mr. Yang Ming, destroyed the central base. It wasn't a complete central base. Behind them, there was a boss behind the scenes. Kun Siyuan was afraid that Lin Yi would kill him directly, so he quickly said, Central? This was the second time Lin Yi heard of the name of Central. The first time was when he was in the secular Song house. However, he didn't expect that his master had also fought with Central back then. Lin Yi was only a non-staff member in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. There were some things that Lin Dongfang didn't say, and Lin Yi didn't know. Moreover, the things about Central back then were all top-secret files. These things were hard to access unless it was the current Song Lingshan. Yes, you should know this place, right? Back then, it was only a central base that was destroyed. The person in charge there, Dr. Benjamin, was just a puppet. As far as I know, their real leader is a person called Dr. Lee. Now, Central is managed by his girlfriend, Luan Shioru, currently nicknamed Miss Lan. Kun Siyuan said. What does this have to do with me? Linny paused. He didn't have any enmity with Central. He only had some conflicts back at Song House. He didn't understand why Kun Siyuan suddenly brought this up. Young hero Lin, this Central is a scourge. They specialize in making things that harm people. Your master has always been fighting with them. Aren't you interested? Kun Siyuan paused. He didn't expect Lin Yi to have such an indifferent expression. No. Lin Yi shook his head. He didn't provoke me. Instead, I was the one who killed their 4 masters. My friend stole their things. Come to think of it, they are the unlucky ones. What does this have to do with me? This? Kun Siyuan was using this as a life-saving card. He didn't expect Lin Yi to not care at all. He was completely dumbfounded. Young hero Lin, they are your master's enemies. I heard that your master has always been fighting with them. Even now, oh? Lin Yi raised an eyebrow. Even now? He looked at Kun Siyuan suspiciously. Now? Do you know where my master is now? This? Of course, Kun Siyuan didn't know. But I heard that when your master left, he seemed to have something to do with Central. How do you know? Lin Yi asked. Lin Yi really didn't care much about Central. However, when it came to news about his master, it was impossible for Lin Yi not to care. You should know that our right Miao Men. Oh, that is, the previous right Miao Men in Miaojiang. At that time, we had cooperation with Central. Now, we often have some business dealings. Once I vaguely heard Miss Lan mention your master on the phone. That's why I said that, said Kun Siyuan. Chapter 3459. Part 2. Kun Siyuan was startled. He could kill for Sky Class full mastery? How strong was that? He had made a mistake, not investigating Lin Yi further. From what he knew, Lin Yi was a solo practitioner with no background. How strong could a solo practitioner be? That was why Kun Siyuan didn't hesitate to capture Bai Weituo and the others to lure Lin Yi here, preparing to kill Lin Yi in one fell swoop. But now, it seemed like it was hard to say who would be the one to kill who. Thank you for sparing my life, Master Lin. Don't worry, I'll be your lackey from now onwards. I'll do whatever you tell me to do, I'll listen to you, Kun Siyuan quickly said. The only good thing about me is that a wise man submits to circumstances. I know what I'm capable of. Alright, get someone to fix up your hotel. I'm going to sleep now. I don't want to see my classmates get hurt. I hope you can bring them here tomorrow morning, or you know the consequences, Lin Yi said as he looked at Kun Siyuan. Alright. Don't worry, Master Lin, I know what to do. Kun Siyuan nodded and left the room respectfully. He was quite efficient. Not long later, some workers came to replace the door and repair the hole in the hallway. As for Pu Nime's body, it was already taken away. Kun Siyuan came and left in a hurry. Soon, the hotel returned to its peacefulness. No one noticed that something like this had happened in the hotel. Gooden, thank you for your help this time, Lin Yi said to Gooden. If it was just me, I really wouldn't be able to do anything to that vice head Pu. He's invulnerable, it'd be hard for me to kill him. It's nothing. Plus, I'm so happy to be able to help you, boss. Finally, there's a place for me to use my skills. Otherwise, I'd have to fight monsters in the mountains every day. It'd be so annoying, Gooden said. Haha, alright, go rest. Yuan, are you worried? Lin Yi smiled. I'll rest too. Tomorrow, I'll have Kun Siyuan play with us, treat it as a vacation. Alright. Gooden nodded and went back to rest. The next morning, Kun Siyuan brought Bai Weituo and the others to the Yomiao Hotel. However, Kun Siyuan's attitude made Bai Weituo and the rest very puzzled. How did it go from being so fierce to being so respectful? What was going on? After leaving the casino, Bai Weituo and the others were arranged to board a luxurious limousine. Kun Siyuan let Bai Weituo and the others sit on the luxurious sofa facing each other, but he sat on the seat next to them. This made everyone even more puzzled. What kind of game was this person playing? Tu Finglian sat behind Kun Siyuan. Young masters and young mistresses, please take a seat. Tu Feng said politely after getting on the car. Hey, big brother, don't mess with us. If Linny doesn't come, are you going to throw me into the sea to feed the fishes? Zhang Duopan's face was pale. The more they acted like this, the more worried he was. Haha, don't mind me, I was just joking with you guys. Actually, our boss Kun Bro really does know Mr. Lin Yi. Not only that, he's Lin Yi's underling. Tu Feng quickly said. We're bringing you to Mr. Lin Yi now. Big brother, can you stop messing with me? I know you're enemies with that idiot Lin Yi, but we really are enemies. That Bai Weituo is Lin Yi's underling, we're not. Let me go, I really don't want to die. Zhang Duopan begged with a bitter face. So you're really enemies with Mr. Lin Yi, and you're not his underling or friend? Kun Siyuan turned around and asked suddenly. No, it really isn't. Ask him if you don't believe me. Then Zhang Duopan pointed at Bai Weituo and said, Bai Weituo, don't lie. It's all because of your idiot boss. Tell me the truth, what's my relationship with Lin Yi? He's right, he's enemies with boss Lin Yi and me. We both like Himewa, and he's always against us. Bai Weituo nodded. Since this matter started because of boss Lin Yi, it really has nothing to do with him. Let him go. Kun Siyuan frowned and nodded. Then, he picked up the phone and dialed a number. It was the phone number of the hotel room that Lin Yi was staying in. Hello, Kun Siyuan, you're here? Lin Yi picked up the phone and asked. It's like this. May I ask if there's a person called Zhang Duopan? Is he your enemy or, and that Bai Weituo? Kun Siyuan asked carefully. If he brought these 4 people with him, what if one of them was Lin Yi's enemy? If Lin Yi was unhappy, what would he do if he blamed Kun Siyuan? So, he had to ask clearly. Oh, Bai Weituo is my little brother. Just like you, we're on the same level. Lin Yi said. But he joined earlier than you. You can call him Brother Bai. As for Zhang Duopan and Fan Ganha, find a place to throw them away. I don't want to see them. Lin Yi also knew that this matter was basically caused by Zhang Duopan's bragging. It had nothing to do with Bai Weituo. So, for this person, Lin Yi didn't have a good impression at all, and he didn't want to see him. Okay, I understand. Boss. After Kun Siyuan finished speaking, he hung up the phone. When he looked at Zhang Duopan again, his gaze was a little strange. Zhang Duopan was also a little confused. Who is Kun Siyuan calling? Why does he call the other party boss? How does the other party know me and Bai Weituo? What the hell is going on? Wait. Is their boss really Lin Yi? What he said just now was also true. He wasn't playing with me? Thinking of this, Zhang Duopan immediately shivered. He looked at Kun Siyuan carefully. This big brother. I was just joking. Actually, I'm also boss Lin Yi's little brother, Tu Feng. Find a place to bury these 2 people. Boss Lin Yi said that he doesn't want to see them anymore. Kun Siyuan obviously misunderstood Lin Yi's words. Lin Yi said to find a place to throw them away? He didn't want to see them. Kun Siyuan thought that he wanted him to kill these 2 people. Because he had seen Lin Yi's ruthlessness yesterday. Punime was killed just like that, and the 4 heaven-rank great perfection experts in the center were also killed just like that. So for these 2 small fries, wouldn't he be able to kill them just like that? Chapter 3460. Please come back tomorrow morning for the first and second updates. If everyone has a monthly ticket, please vote for Top Grade Cultivator Young Master. Thank you. Even if these 2 people were not good, they were still opponents at the level of Bai Weituo. If Lin Yi made a move, it would be like using a cannon to kill a mosquito. But if Kun Siyuan took care of it, even if Lin Yi knew, he wouldn't say anything because it had nothing to do with him. Lin Yi originally hated these 2 people. Yes, Brother Kun. Tu Feng smiled and pressed a button in his hand. After the driver of the RV received it, he found a place to stop the car. In the early morning, there was no one on the road. Tu Feng, one in each hand, carried Zhang Duopan and Fan Ganha out of the car. This scene made Bai Weituo and He Mei Wei extremely surprised. They were a little dumbfounded. Both of them couldn't figure out why things would suddenly change like this. Is Tu Feng really going to kill Zhang Duopan and Fan Ganha? However, although Bai Weituo sympathized with them, he didn't say anything to stop Kun Siyuan and Tu Feng. After all, the person Kun Siyuan called should be Lin Yi, so the person who asked him to kill Zhang Duopan and Fan Ganha should also be Lin Yi. How could Bai Weituo refute Lin Yi's words? Therefore, Bai Weituo didn't say anything in the end and let Tu Feng take Zhang Duopan and Fan Ganha out of the car. Big brother, let us go. We were just joking. In fact, I'm also Lin Yi's underling. I was afraid of death before, so I said that. Now, I'm telling the truth. I'm really Lin Yi's underling. Don't kill me! Zhang Duopan yelled. Oh? Is it? Tu Feng stopped and looked at Zhang Duopan faintly. You're Lin Yi's underling? Yes. I'm Lin Yi's underling. Don't kill me! Zhang Duopan nodded again and again. Do you know why I took you out of the car? Asked Tu Feng. Why? Zhang Duopan was stunned. Don't you want to kill me? Are you going to take me out of the car or are you going to let me go? You're right. I was going to let you go. Tu Feng nodded and said, Brother Kun and I were just lying to Bai Weituo in the car. I brought you here to let you go. Ah? Really? Zhang Duopan was confused. He didn't have to die. Really? Tu Feng nodded and said, But now I plan to kill you. Why? Zhang Duopan was stunned. Because you said you're Lin Yi's underling? Didn't you already know that I have a grudge against Lin Yi? Tu Feng said. F***CK. Zhang Duopan's eyes widened. There's really a grudge? Then why did you say that Lin Yi was Brother Kun's boss? Aren't you messing with me? It's just to fool around. I want to see who among you is Lin Yi's lackey and who isn't. Tu Feng said. Since you've admitted that you're Lin Yi's lackey, then you can die. In fact, Tu Feng also wanted to see if Zhang Duopan was Lin Yi's lackey. He didn't want to kill the wrong person. However, after a few tests, he realized that this person lied without blinking an eye. It was obvious that he wasn't Lin Yi's lackey. In order to survive, he dared to say any nonsense. On the other hand, Bai Weituo was much more normal. From the beginning to the end, regardless of whether he killed or not, he said that he was Lin Yi's lackey. Such a person was definitely Lin Yi's lackey and not an imposter. Don't! I'm not, I'm really not! Zhang Duopan quickly changed his words. He looked at Fan Ganha and said, Fan Ganha, tell me, are we Lin Yi's lackeys? No, we're definitely not. We often plot against Lin Yi and Bai Weituo. Fan Ganha said quickly. Oh? Hee, let me tell you. Actually, our brother Kun is Lin Yi's lackey. We just acknowledged him yesterday. After a few tests, we found out that you're really not boss Lin Yi's lackeys. Tu Feng said with a smile. Of course, even if you're really Lin Yi's lackeys, there's no need for traitors like you to go back on your words. You can die now. What? Are you playing with us again? Zhang Duopan was completely desperate this time. It could be explained if they went back on their words once or twice. However, if they kept going back on their words, it was impossible to believe them. All right, stop yelling. I have to quickly get rid of you and go back to report. Tu Feng dragged the two of them directly to a dense forest. On the other side of the car, Bai Weituo was holding He Mei Yue's hand nervously. Things had become a little strange. Tu Feng and Kun Siyuan, who were originally Lin Yi's enemies, had suddenly become Lin Yi's lackeys. The reason they detained Bai Weituo and the others was to lure Lin Yi to avenge their sect members. But now that the roles had changed, Bai Weituo instinctively had to be on guard. That? Brother Kun, are you really boss Lin Yi's lackey? Bai Weituo finally could not help but ask. Haha, brother Bai, of course I'm boss Lin Yi's lackey. You're also boss Lin Yi's lackey. However, you joined the sect before me, so I'll call you Brother Bai. Kun Siyuan laughed and said, There were two annoying people in the car just now. There are some things that I can't say. Let me introduce myself. My name is Kun Siyuan, the leader of Right Miao sect. I'm currently Boss Lin Yi's lackey. I hope Brother Bai can be magnanimous if I offended you previously. I can't be considered magnanimous. I'm just wondering. Didn't you have a grudge against Boss Lin Yi previously? Bai Weituo felt a little dizzy. The change was too fast. I did have a grudge, but Boss Lin Yi subdued me. That little grudge is nothing, Kun Siyuan explained with a smile. I see. Bai Weituo nodded. He finally understood that Kun Siyuan was afraid of being beaten up. Along the way to the Sprout Hotel, Kun Siyuan brought Bai Weituo and Himeiwei upstairs. When they met in Lin Yi's room, Bai Weituo finally heaved a sigh of relief. It turned out that what Kun Siyuan said was true. Himeiwei looked at Lin Yi with a flash of surprise in her eyes. No matter where Lin Yi went, there seemed to be nothing that he could not settle. This really surprised Himeiwei. Take this incident as an example. It was originally a trap, but it was easily resolved by Lin Yi. Not only that, but he also subdued a lackey. Lin Yi seemed to have a lot of lackeys? Kun Siyuan, it seems that you are very honest. My classmate is really fine. With Lin Yi's strength, he could see that Bai Weituo was not injured at a glance. This made Lin Yi believe that Kun Siyuan had defected. Chapter 3461. Transition chapter, not easy to write, a bit later. Please vote. Where are the other two? Lin Yi asked. I told Tu Feng to kill them, Kun Siyuan said. Kill them? Lin Yi blinked. Who told you to kill them? Boss Lin Yi, didn't you say you didn't want to see them anymore and threw them away? Kun Siyuan blinked as well. Oh? Lin Yi couldn't help but smile bitterly after some thought. What I meant was for you to let them go and ignore them. But since they've already killed them, then so be it. These two are a little shady, and keeping them around will only cause more trouble. Bai Weituo felt pity for Zhang Duopan. This guy didn't deserve to die. He didn't expect him to die because of his own words. Trouble really came from the mouth. I'm really sorry. I thought. Kun Siyuan was a bit embarrassed. It's fine, it's nothing. Right, do you have anything to do today? Lin Yi asked. No, what do you want me to do, Boss Lin Yi? Kun Siyuan quickly asked. Even if he had something to do, he had to push it off. What could be more important than helping Boss Lin Yi? It's nothing. Bring Bai Weituo and Air Good in here and have some fun. They don't know this place, and they don't know where to go. With a local like you, it'll be much more convenient, Lin Yi said. No problem, Kun Siyuan said. I haven't had much fun since I came to Southeast Asia. Boss Lin Yi really gave me a good opportunity. Lin Yi shook his head. This Kun Siyuan was really a bootlicker. As for playing, Lin Yi didn't want to go by himself. He wanted to train in his room. He didn't have much time left, and he needed to get stronger as soon as possible. Bai Weituo and Air Gooden had a local like Kun Siyuan to bring them around, so they were quite powerful. Almost all the security guards knew Kun Siyuan, and they were surprised at the same time. Since when did Kun Siyuan become a tour guide? Where did these two come from? How could they make Kun Siyuan treat them so politely? But thinking was just thinking, no one would ask about it. For a whole week, Bai Weituo and Gooden went to all the attractions and entertainment around the area. Kun Siyuan sent them on the plane back, and Lin Yi, on the other hand, had to go to Island X. He wouldn't be going back with them. Under the development and operation of his master, Island X had become a famous tourist resort. There were many flights coming and going every day, so Lin Yi easily arrived at Island X airport. Just like the last time he came back, a car with a butterfly logo was parked not far from the tarmac outside the airport. Lin Yi smiled faintly. Only Yang Qiqi and Little Jio's car could enter the airport unimpeded. They were like princesses on Island X. No one dared to stop their car. After Lin Yi got off the plane, he walked towards the car, and the person in the car saw Lin Yi as well. Yang Qiqi jumped down excitedly from the driver's seat and ran towards Lin Yi. Inside the car, little Jiu was smiling and waving at him. Lin Yi, bro! Qiqi ran over and clung onto Lin Yi, not letting go. At this moment, Lin Yi felt like he had returned to his childhood. Every time he came back from a mission, Qiqi would be like this. After the confession and the knot in her heart, Qiqi had returned to her old self. But this time, when Lin Yi saw little Jiu, his emotions were still very complicated. The last time they met, he didn't dare to face her feelings, but this time, it was because little Jiu was about to leave. During this period of time, Lin Yi had almost become a specialist in escorting inheritors. His daily job was to escort inheritors to their sex. Little Jiu, why are you here too? Lin Yi adjusted his emotions and greeted little Jiu after getting in the car with Qiqi. I'm going to leave, and look at this island where the three of us lived together for so many years. I don't know when I can come back. Even if I come back, my family may not let me stay on Island X. Maybe I'll even stay in the Yellow Soil High sect. Little Jiu's eyes flashed with sadness. Little Jiu's words made Lin Yi sigh slightly. Yes, little Jiu's rejection of the Yellow Soil High sect was like Yuning's rejection of the Hidden House Yu. But at the end of the day, it was still their home. Although they said they hated it, they still hoped to go back after a while. Lin Yi laughed dryly and didn't continue the topic. He turned to Qiqi. Qiqi, the association didn't cause any trouble for you after that, did they? Lin Yi had become enemies with the association this time, and he was really afraid that they would contact Qiqi. No, I haven't been back for a while, and they didn't contact me. Qiqi shook her head. That's good. Lin Yi nodded. Happy days were always limited, and during the few days Lin Yi was on Island X, he brought Qiqi and little Jiu back to the old place, going around the entire island and making them many delicacies from their childhood. And the day of little Jiu's departure was approaching. Toa took a plane to Island X. This morning, Lin Yi and the others saw Toa at the airport. Toa was very excited to see Lin Yi. Boss, brother-in-law, hello? I'm so happy to see you. I've missed you so much. I heard that you went to Fiery Mountain a few days ago and cured Yang Shuijian. Toa's words were like a cannon. There was a lot of information in it, and Lin Yi didn't even have time to reply. Little Jiu, you're so pretty, no wonder you're my sister. Wahahaha. Toa saw little Jiu and looked left and right, very close and happy. Little Jiu rolled her eyes helplessly. Why did she have a crazy big brother? Your boss, Lin Yi, is so normal, can't you be a little more normal? Wow, you can even roll your eyes, that's so cool. Toa didn't seem to notice that little Jiu was annoyed at him. He thought that she was just playing with him, and kept on chattering, and so, Lin Yi and little Jiu boarded the plane under Toa's chatter, and headed to the High Yellow Soil sect. The plane slowly rose into the air, and Lin Yi didn't know when he would be able to return to this island again. That new journey was getting closer and closer, and all the preparations from before seemed to be for the opening of that illusory sky-class island. Although Lin Yi and little Jiu were warmly received at the High Yellow Soil sect, especially Lin Yi, who treated them like an honored guest, and the entire sect, including Toa's father, Tua Qingsong, were very polite to Lin Yi, but Lin Yi's heart was still very heavy. Chapter 3462. The first and second updates were still tomorrow morning. Lin Yi, what should I do? My dad told me that this weekend, he will arrange for me to go on a blind date with the betrothed. I don't even know him. What should I do? Guan Xian's voice was a little anxious. Xin, don't worry. Wait for me to go back. I will help you deal with it. Although Lin Yi hadn't thought of a good solution for the time being, he had to agree to it first so that Guan Xian wouldn't worry. If it doesn't work, just do what I said. Although it will tarnish my reputation a little, it is the only way. This trick was actually seen by Lin Yi in a novel called Very Pure, Very Ambiguous Prequel. At this time, he made a last-minute effort and used it on the spot. And if it doesn't work, this is the only way. But Dad and Grandpa, they will be furious. Guan Xian sighed. She was an obedient child. Although Guan Xiaoxiang had been obstructing her relationship with Lin Yi, he was still very good to her overall. Lin Yi was also a little helpless. He couldn't treat the Guan family and Guan Xiaoxiang the same way he treated Qin Xiyuan and others, right? That was unrealistic, so Lin Yi could only come up with a strange trick. In comparison, only this trick can make the other party give up. Otherwise, even if you don't agree, the other party will always urge you. It will be difficult for you to get rid of them. That's true. Guan Xian nodded in agreement. Lin Yi, I've made up my mind. I'll do as you say. At that time, you have to come too. I will say that I am pregnant with your child. That person and my father will give up. Okay, since this idea is mine, I will definitely accompany them to the end, Lin Yi said. And then I will plan how to say it at that time, Guan Xian said. On this side, just after hanging up the phone with Guan Xian, Lin Yi's phone rang again. This time, the call was from Island X. Hello? Lin Yi politely picked up the phone. His tone was respectful. After all, many people on Island X were his elders and instructors during his childhood. Lin Yi must be respectful. Little Yi, I'm your master's wife, Xinyushi. On the other side of the phone, a pleasant voice came. Xinyushi was a wife of Lin Yi's master, Yang Ming. Lin Yi naturally knew her, but Xinyushi was not good at kung fu and some assassin specialties, so she did not have much contact with Lin Yi before. Hello, Mistress Shin. Why are you looking for me? Lin Yi felt a little strange. He thought it was Master Zhou calling to ask about little Jiu. Lily, it's like this. When your master was young, he arranged a marriage for you. Now that you are old enough, and the girl in the other party's family has grown up, I am going to matchmake you too, Xinyushi said. After all, this is what your master specifically told me before he left. Lin Yi just wanted to refuse, but after listening to Mistress Shin's last sentence, he was speechless. Master specifically told me? Master's order, Lin Yi naturally couldn't violate it, so Lin Yi had to use the delaying tactic. Mistress Shin, I also know that you are doing this for my own good, but now, I don't have the mood to talk about love. Little Jiu has become an inheritor. I have to improve my strength as soon as possible so that I can escort them to Heavenly Island. Lin Yi really didn't expect that he had just helped Guan Xian to come up with a plan, and this matter was his turn. Lin Yi really didn't know what to say. There was still a way to refuse Guan Xian's side, but on his side, Lin Yi really had to comply with the marriage arranged by his master. There is no conflict. Xinyushi smiled and said, These two things can be done at the same time. Moreover, because of the inheritor, the other party wants to settle the marriage as soon as possible because the other party is also an inheritor. What? Lin Yi was suddenly stunned. The other party is also an inheritor. Now, the inheritors that Lin Yi was not familiar with were only the people from Snow Valley. Could it be the people from Snow Valley? Wait, something is wrong. Guan Xian is an inheritor, and Guan Xian has an engagement. Now I have another engagement with an inheritor. Doesn't that mean, thinking of this possibility, Lin Yi was really a little dumbfounded. It can't be such a coincidence, right? Yeah, so you protecting little Jiu is equivalent to protecting her, and also protecting her at the same time. I think your master arranged it like this in the beginning. I'm afraid there is such a profound meaning in it, Xinyushi said with a smile. In the past, when Lin Yi heard this, he would definitely think it was just a coincidence. But now, there were too many coincidences in the people and things around him. Lin Yi didn't believe that this was a coincidence at all. Perhaps, all this was predicted in advance? Master's wife Shin, then I want to ask, who is this inheritor? Although Lin Yi knew the answer, he was not quite sure. This inheritor is called Guan Xian. Her father was a good friend of your master. Her grandfather and your grandfather, Lin Dongfang, also have some connections, Xinyushi explained. Hearing this, Lin Yi really didn't doubt it. Guan Xian, it really is Guan Xian. Lin Yi breathed a sigh of relief in his heart, but he also felt a little funny. If Guan Xian knew that the blind date was him, what kind of expression would she have? Suddenly, Lin Yi had a wicked idea. If I don't tell Guan Xian in advance and give her a surprise on that day, wouldn't it be fun? Thinking of this, Lin Yi said, Master's wife Shin, does the other party know what my name is? That I don't know. You have a lot of names. I'm not sure what name you are using now. Xingyushi said. Why? Do you have any ideas? It's like this. I know Guan Xian, so I want to give her a surprise. I asked Master's wife not to tell her first. I will appear on the day of the meeting. Lin Yi was too bored during this period, so this kind of thing also aroused the interest of Lin Yi's age. Hee, of course. Xingyushi smiled and said, Okay, I will leave for Songhan City in a few days. I didn't tell you about this when little Gio was here. I was afraid that you would be distracted, so I waited for you to send her away before telling you. Okay, thank you, Master's wife. Lin Yi quickly thanked her. He was also relieved in his heart. He didn't expect Master's wife Shin to be so easy to talk to. She directly agreed to his request. At this time, the plane was about to take off. Lin Yi ended the call and prepared to return to Dahai City. Chapter 3463. I'm a little late, sorry. Xingyushi and Guan Xiuxiang had been friends for many years. She used to stay at Guan Xuemin's house for a period of time to treat her illness. At that time, she met Guan Xiuxiang and his girlfriend, Xiaolan. But after they settled down on Island X, they rarely met. But during the holidays, the phone calls were still frequent. Sister-in-law Yushi, how's it going? Is the successor on the boss's side going to be engaged to our Xinxin? Guan Xixiang was also annoyed for a while. Guan Xian was already engaged, but she was still entangled with Lin Yi. He wasn't saying that Lin Yi wasn't good, but he was a man of his word. His benefactor helped him so much that he naturally couldn't violate the original agreement. In his opinion, a promise was more important than anything else. Although his benefactor had left to do something important, he couldn't casually break the promise just because he left. Guan Xiuxiang wasn't that kind of person. Yes, I've already arranged it. I'm just waiting for you, Xingyushi said. I've already booked a plane ticket. I'll arrive in Songzhan the day after tomorrow. By then, my disciple will also be there. You're familiar with the place. Book a restaurant, I'll let him go. Okay, no problem. Guan Xiuxiang breathed a sigh of relief. He thought, now that the matter is settled, I don't have to care about Guan Xian's emotions. Anyway, it's a done deal. Guan Xian can't object even if she wants to. He knew that although Guan Xian sometimes threw a tantrum, she would still give him some face when it came to important matters. So, Guan Xiuxiang hung up the phone and began to make arrangements. Guan Xian received a call from her father. She was a little helpless, but she knew that this moment would come sooner or later, so she could only agree. Anyway, she had already thought of a countermeasure. She specially ordered a set of non-mainstream clothes and cosmetics online. On the morning of the blind date, Guan Xiuxiang booked the most high-end hotel in Songzhan, Starlight Hotel. Guan Xian wasn't stupid enough to wear a non-mainstream outfit when she left home. She was still wearing a casual outfit today, and although there weren't too many accessories on it, it was still clean and tidy. Guan Xiuxiang was very satisfied with it. This was the style he liked, and that person's disciple must be a master with high standards. The more you dress up, the more natural it is. So Guan Xiuxiang happily brought Guan Xian to Starlight Resplendence. After entering the private room, Xingyushi and her disciple had not arrived yet. Guan Xiuxiang arrived a little earlier. As the host, he naturally could not wait for the guests to arrive before he arrived. That would be impolite. Dad, I'm going to the bathroom to touch up my makeup and see if there's anything wrong. Guan Xian stood up. There was a private bathroom in the room, so it was convenient for Guan Xian to change. All right, go ahead. Guan Xiuxiang was very happy. He thought that Guan Xian had come to her senses after agreeing to the marriage, and was prepared to give her a good impression. Otherwise, why would she still care so much? After Guan Xian went to the washroom, she started changing her clothes. It wasn't exactly revealing, but it was still a weird outfit. Guan Xian, on the other hand, started applying makeup and dyeing her hair. She'd bought a hairspray online that could dye her hair faster. Although Guan Xian usually didn't dress up, she had practiced at home for a long time. After dressing up like this, she had become a delinquent girl. After everything was done, Guan Xian called Lin Yi. "Lin Yi, where are you?" Guan Xian asked anxiously. "My dad has taken me to Starlight Resplendence Hotel for a blind date. We're at the 3rd floor Shiyuan Hall. When are you coming?" Guan Xiaoxiang chose this Shiyuan Hall as the location for the blind date for a reason. It was to let them cherish this fate. "I'm already on my way. I'll be there soon," Lin Yi said. "I'll give you a surprise later." "And I'll give you a surprise too." Guan Xian's dressing today was a bit too exaggerated. Even she almost couldn't recognize herself. The surprise that Lin Yi mentioned was that she would find out that her blind date partner was Lin Yi. And Guan Xian's surprise was that she felt that her dressing up was too successful. Lin Yi and Xinyushi didn't come together. They went their separate ways. Xinyushi had arrived in Songzhan City last night and stayed at Starlight Resplendence Hotel. She only needed to come downstairs. Therefore, not long after Guan Xiaoxiang arrived, Xinyushi came to the private room. "Sister-in-law Yushi, hello? I haven't seen you for many years. You're still so beautiful. No wonder Brother Yang was infatuated with you in the past." Guan Xiaoxiang quickly stood up and greeted Xinyushi familiarly. Xinyushi's face was slightly red. She knew that Guan Xiaoxiang was just being polite. She was indeed beautiful, but she wasn't infatuated with him. She was the one who chased him in the past. Thinking about the past, Xinyushi was a little embarrassed. She glared at Guan Xiaoxiang and said, "There's a junior here. Don't talk nonsense." "I won't talk anymore." When Guan Xiaoxiang heard Xinyushi say junior, he remembered that Guan Xian was still in the bathroom. She had been in there for so long. Why hadn't she come out yet? He was a little anxious and shouted in the direction of the bathroom. "Xinshin, how is it on your side? Your Auntie Shin is here. Why aren't you coming out?" "Dad, I'm going out now. I'm smoking in the bathroom," Guan Xian said in the bathroom. "I'm addicted to smoking. I'm afraid that I'll smoke Auntie Shin if I go out." As Guan Xian spoke, she took out a prop cigarette that she bought online from her bag. This cigarette was made like a real one. You could puff out a cloud of smoke with one puff, but it didn't contain any cigarette content. After all, it was used for filming TV. "What?" Guan Xiaoxiang's face suddenly changed. He was stunned. Smoking? How did Guan Xian smoke? When did she smoke? Since she was young, Guan Xian had been a good girl. She didn't smoke or drink. Could it be that she learned to smoke during this period of time when she studied medicine? That can't be right. That person is also a highly respected professor at a university in Donghai. How could he teach Guan Xian to smoke? Xinyushi was also stunned. Her understanding of Guan Xian was completely from Guan Xiaoxiang's side of the information. However, when she came today, she heard that Guan Xian was smoking. It really shocked Xinyushi. Chapter 3464. "Guan Xian! Come out!" Guan Xiaoxiang was enraged, like an enraged lion. He felt extremely humiliated. Guan Xian wasn't afraid at all as she listened to her father's roar. If her father didn't get angry, then he wouldn't have achieved his goal. She proudly glanced at her current appearance in the mirror. Her originally neatly combed hair had now turned into a messy hairstyle. She had even sprayed purple paint on it. Her heavy smoky makeup and large earrings made her look exactly the same as those delinquent girls on the streets. "Humph, even if you don't let me cook at home, I, Guan Xian, can still scare my blind date away. Oh, my stomach isn't feeling too good. What's the rush? I didn't have my period this month, so I'll go see what's wrong," Guan Xian said as she pushed the door open and walked out of the bathroom. "What nonsense is this?" Guan Xiaoxiang's face darkened. He hadn't seen his daughter for a while, but Guan Xian's words had become so bold. Was it because of the side effects of being a nurse? Xiaoxiang was a shareholder of the hospital, so he knew that the nurses and doctors interacted with patients every day. There was nothing to be embarrassed about. He could say anything he wanted, but wasn't Guan Xian studying medicine at someone else's house? Why? But he didn't have time to think about it. When Guan Xiaoxiang saw Guan Xian's current appearance, he was shocked. Xian, what are you wearing? Go wash it off. You look so scary. Are you attending a masquerade party? Wash it off. Why? I look like this usually. Why do I have to wash it off? Guan Xian's lips curved into a smile, but she hid it well. Dad, didn't you say that blind date is to show my true self? I can't change myself just for the blind date, right? You. Guan Xiaoxiang finally understood what Guan Xian was playing at. The so-called smoking, the bold and unrestrained words, and the current hipster attire were probably all to resist this blind date. Otherwise, if Guan Xian really did look like this, then why didn't she dress like this at home? Why did she have to dress like this in the bathroom? Guan Xiaoxiang realized that he had fallen into Guan Xian's trap. No wonder Guan Xian was so cooperative when she came to the blind date. She had everything planned out. The killer move was yet to come. This must be Auntie Shin, right? Guan Xian took a puff of the cigarette and sprayed the smoke in front of Shinyushi. I'm sorry, Auntie. Do you want one? I don't want it anymore. Shinyushi looked at Guan Xian with a strange expression, but she didn't say anything in the end. Guan Xian! Stop messing around and quickly apologize to Auntie Shin. Guan Xiaoxiang was so angry that he roared at Guan Xian. Then, he turned his head and looked at Shinyushi awkwardly. Sister-in-law Yushi, I'm really sorry. Shinshin, she's not usually like this. Oh, it's nothing. My disciple also has this character. They are quite similar. Maybe they can be a couple. Shinyushi suddenly said. Since they are all dressed up, let's go. Shinshin is right, it's the truth. This? All right. Guan Xiaoxiang felt a headache coming on. This was truly a failure at a crucial moment. But since Shinyushi said so, he could only respond. Well, I hope this marriage can be facilitated. At this time, there was a knock on the door of the private room. Please come in. Guan Xiaoxiang and Shinyushi said at the same time. Lin Yi pushed the door and walked in. He came from Dahai City, so he was a little slower. Lin Yi? What are you doing here? Guan Xiaoxiang's face instantly became even uglier. It seemed that Guan Xian not only dressed up as a non-mainstream girl today, but she also dragged Lin Yi along. Guan Xiaoxiang didn't have to think to know that he was here to act as a boyfriend. He had to stop Lin Yi. He had to drive him away before Shinyushi's disciple came. After listening to this, Shinyushi's expression was a little strange. Why? Guan Xiaoxiang knows Lin Yi, and their relationship doesn't seem to be very pleasant. However, Lin Yi knows Guan Xian. If Lin Yi saw Guan Xian's outfit, how would he react? Of course, I'm here to look for someone. Lin Yi smiled slightly and then walked quickly in the direction of Guan Xian. When Guan Xian saw Lin Yi coming, she suddenly looked happy. She quickly stood up and threw herself into Lin Yi's arms. My dear, you're here. I missed you so much. Guan Xian's words were both true and false. She didn't know that she would say such a bold thing. However, half of it was acting, and the other half was her own heart. After listening to Guan Xian's words, Shinyushi's expression was even more strange. Guan Xiaoxiang was furious. He couldn't care less about Shinyushi. He slammed the table and glared at Lin Yi. He shouted angrily, Lin Yi, you are not welcome here. You should leave now. However, Guan Xian acted as if she didn't hear it. She snuggled sweetly in Lin Yi's arms. She looked at Shinyushi and said, Auntie Shin, let me introduce you. This is my boyfriend, Lin Yi. Oh, hello, little Yi. Shinyushi nodded and said, Guan Xian was a little puzzled why Xinyushi wasn't angry, but it might be because she had information about this blind date. She knew that her disciple could get engaged. Xiaoxiang couldn't take it anymore. Xian, stop messing around. Lin Yi, I know Xian hired you to put on a show, so stop messing around. What do you say for my father's sake? Lin Yi asked. However, before Lin Yi could speak, Guan Xian was unwilling first. Dad, I have freedom to love. You can't interfere with me. Besides, Aya, the little brat kicked me again. As she spoke, Guan Xian's hand touched her lower abdomen. Her face was excited and intoxicated. What did you say? Guan Shuxiang was shocked by Guan Xian's words. After a moment, his body couldn't stop trembling. He pointed at Guan Xian and was so angry that he couldn't speak. You guys. Good, very good. Guan Xian, you and him have already reached such a stage. You want to anger me to death? Really? Let me hear it. Then, let's give the child a name. I say, how about Lin Xiaoxin or Lin Xiaoguan? Lin Yi said with a smile, ignoring Guan Shuxiang. Chapter 3465. With today's opportunity, Lin Yi also wanted to make Guan Xiaoxiang suffer a setback. Guan Xuemin would be very happy if he knew about it. He really couldn't do anything about his son. He didn't listen to others, but he listened to his benefactor's words. What made Lin Yi feel funny was that Guan Xiaoxiang's benefactor was actually his own master, Yang Ming. Okay, husband. If it's a boy, I'll call him Lin Xiaoguan. If it's a girl, I'll call her Lin Xiaoxian. Guan Xian pulled Lin Yi's hand. Her whole body was half lying in Lin Yi's arms. For Guan Xian, this was an extremely bold move. In the past, she would never have thought that she would do this in front of so many people. But since it was an act, Guan Xian could let it go. In fact, in her heart, there was some excitement brought by doing this. She felt a little strange excitement. It turned out that sometimes, a good girl rebelling once was also very refreshing. It's really unfortunate for our family. Sister-in-law Yushi, I've let you see a joke. Guan Xiaoxiang really didn't know what to say. He really had nothing to say. No, I think it's quite good. They both like each other. It's really not bad. Xinyushi covered her mouth and chuckled. However, this smile, in Guan Xiaoxiang's eyes, became mockery, making him a little embarrassed. He took a deep breath and said, Lin Yi, I'm begging you now, can't you get out of here right now? Xinxin's blind date is coming soon. Give me this face. Today's blind date will go smoothly. I don't care about the results, okay? When the time comes, I won't care about what you and Xinxin want. Is that okay? Guan Xiaoxiang really had no other choice, so he chose to compromise. In any case, today's face had to be preserved. He couldn't let his benefactor's disciple see his daughter like this. It was really too disrespectful. Now that he let Lin Yi go, after today, he didn't intend to care anymore. A grown girl couldn't be kept at home. That was the logic behind it. Then, Lin Yi turned to look at Guan Xian. Lin Yi, why don't we listen to my dad? Guan Xian was a good girl after all. She might have been fighting for her love, but she felt that it was too much. Her goal was achieved now that her father was willing to compromise. He couldn't go overboard. And that's fine. I'll take my leave first. Call me if there's anything. Lin Yi nodded and said to Guan Xiaoxiang, Uncle Guan, since you are so insistent, I will leave first. See you later. All right. Guan Xiaoxiang snorted. He thought to himself, I'll see you later, but I won't be able to see you for a while. Wait until I'm gone before you show up again. Don't let me see you again. Lin Yi smiled and didn't say anything. He got up and walked to the door of the private room. Xinyushi felt a little funny. However, he didn't try to persuade them to stay. Instead, he was happy to watch this farce. When Lin Yi left, Guan Xiaoxiang breathed a sigh of relief and said to Xinyushi, Sister-in-law Yushi, you see, this Xinxin is also disobedient. I'm afraid this marriage. AI. Oh? I think Shinshin is quite good. I'm quite satisfied. With Shinyushi's shrewdness, how could she not see the problem between Guan Xin and Lin Yi? Besides, although she didn't smoke, Yang Ming smoked. Wouldn't she know the smell of smoke if she hadn't smoked before? The smoke that Guan Xin exhaled just now didn't have the smell of tobacco at all. It was obviously a tasteless prop. Besides, how was that considered smoking? Even if she inhaled the smoke into her mouth and exhaled it for a while, it wouldn't pass through her lungs. This wasn't smoking at all. It was just that Guan Xiaoxiang was too concerned, so he didn't notice these details. Besides, if Guan Xin was really pregnant with Lin Yi's child, could Lin Yi not tell her? It was all because Guan Xin refused to marry that she caused all this trouble. Ah? Satisfied? Guan Xiaoxiang was stunned. But Guan Xin is already pregnant. This blind date. That's just right. It's a forced marriage. Shinyushi smiled and said. It's also quite good. Ah? Guan Xiaoxiang completely didn't understand Shinyushi's intention. Is she confused from anger or what? Forced marriage? This is clearly the rhythm of becoming a father. Can her disciple accept it? However, since Shinyushi said so, he had to say. Then, sister-in-law Yushi, you ask when the benefactor's disciple will arrive. Let's meet first and talk about it. Guan Xian's face was a little pale. She thought that after she had done so many things, Shinyushi would have given up on her. She didn't expect that she still wanted a forced marriage? Could it be that their family has a special hobby? Or where did I expose myself? Okay, I will make a call. Shinyushi smiled and took out her phone. Then, she dialed Lin Yi's phone number. Where are you? Your Uncle Guan is looking for you. Oh, you are in the hotel. Come in quickly. Lin Yi didn't leave at all. He just went out for a walk and came back. He knocked on the door, and Shinyushi's voice came from inside. Please come in. So, Lin Yi pushed the door and walked in. Lin Yi? Guan Xiaoxiang was about to get up and welcome him. As a result, he saw Lin Yi, who pushed the door and came in. He was a little anxious. Why is it you again? Why are you here again? Master's wife Shin, Uncle Guan, hello? Lin Yi smiled and said to Shinyushi and Guan Xiaoxiang. Then, he turned to look at Guan Xian. This is my blind date, Guan Xian. She is really beautiful. I like her very much. Guan Xiaoxiang was stunned, but then he understood what was going on. Lin Yi, stop fooling around. I have said that when the blind date is over, you can do whatever you want. But you came back. Is it interesting to pretend to be sister-in-law Yushi's disciple? Do you think this is funny? Little Yi, Master's wife, is also quite satisfied with Shinshin. I have also seen her. Although her dressing is a bit different, and she likes to smoke a fake cigarette for fun, but, overall, she is still good. There are no shortcomings. Young people love to play. When I was young, I did a lot of ridiculous things. Shinyushi spoke at this time. Ah? This time, it was Guan Xiaoxiang's turn to be dumbfounded. Guan Xian also looked at Shinyushi with a dumbfounded look. What does this mean? Does she mean that Lin Yi is her disciple? Is he also the blind date this time? This 180-degree turn was something that the two of them could not accept. After a while, Guan Xiaoxiang said, Sister-in-law Yushi, you mean? Lin Yi is… Yeah, Lin Yi is Yang Ming's disciple. Shinyushi nodded. Chapter 3466. He kept saying that Lin Yi was a liar and wanted to deceive Guan Xiaoming. How could he be a liar? Oh my God, what have I done? Guan Xiaoxiang felt that he was even more embarrassed at this moment than when he found out that Guan Xian was a delinquent girl. Lin Yi, you are the person I went on a blind date with? Guan Xian also widened her eyes at this moment, looking at Lin Yi. Most likely, Lin Yi said with a bitter smile. Why didn't you say it earlier? I was worried all the time. Guan Xian breathed a sigh of relief, but she felt it was a little unbelievable. How could you be the disciple of my father's benefactor? Why didn't you say it before? I just found out. Linny smiled bitterly. To be honest, if Master's wife didn't tell me about this, I didn't even know that I had an engagement. I didn't even know that the engagement was with you. Really? Guan Xian was surprised and happy after hearing it. She was a little shy and said with a red face, If I knew it earlier, I wouldn't have done it like this. I didn't want to leave a bad impression on Auntie Shin. It's all your fault, your bad idea. How can you blame me for this? Linny was a little dumbfounded. I didn't know at the beginning. It's okay. I think it's quite good. I used to have a friend who was similar to you. She likes these non-mainstream outfits. I think it's quite amiable, she said with a smile. As long as you two like it. Yes, young people are a little crazy. It's fine as long as they like it. Guan Xiaoxiang's mood was finally a lot better. He didn't expect things to be solved so dramatically. So, the next meal became a happy situation. Guan Xiaoxiang even asked expectantly, Xian, what's the matter with you? How many months is the baby in your belly? When can I be a grandfather? This made Guan Xian very embarrassed. Dad, I was just talking nonsense before. I and Linny didn't. No! Guan Xiaoxiang was a little disappointed. I thought there was one. I was happy for nothing. Then you have to hurry. And so it was settled. In the following days, Guan Xian returned to Master Bai's house. As for Lin Yi, he had to prepare for the Heaven Ranks trial. However, as soon as Lin Yi arrived in East Ocean City, he received a call from Kong Mingming. Guru Lin Yi, where are you? I have good news for you. Kong Mingming said excitedly to Lin Yi after the phone was connected. Kong Mingming? Of course, I'm in East Ocean City. Do you have any good news? Lin Yi was intrigued. Could it be that Kong Mingming had finished refining the qi-gathering elixir? That was really fast. Could it be that he was scared by him? Kong Mingming's gathering qi pill had been delayed again and again. He had promised him during the trial of the Heavenly Elixir sect, but there had been no progress for a long time. Lin Yi was about to give up and felt that Kong Mingming could not refine it for him. Could it be that Kong Mingming was scared out of his wits and decided to refine the elixir for him? Lin Yi really couldn't figure it out. It's like this, I've been refining the qi-gathering pill for a long time, and I've finally succeeded, Kong Laoming said. Lin Yi, when do you think I'll send it to you? Kong Xiaoming wasn't wrong at all. He really spent a lot of effort to successfully refine this extreme qi-gathering elixir. The extreme qi-gathering elixir was not like the qi-gathering elixir. It was easier to refine the qi-gathering elixir, but not many people had successfully refined the extreme qi-gathering elixir. Kong Xiaoming was also constantly experimenting and refining. Fortunately, with the guidance of the Xianqian ancestor and the Xuanzhen ancestor, he was finally able to successfully refine an extreme qi-gathering pill day and night. Really? It's done? Then help me send it over. Lin Yi didn't expect Kong Mingming to be so straightforward. He thought he would have to go and get it himself. Okay, I'll come to you in 2 days. The villa in East Ocean City, I'll go there, Kong Mingming said. Come. Since you helped me refine the elixir, I'll forget about what happened last time, Lin Yi said. But you have to be quick. I'm already at the peak of the mid-stage of Heaven stage. It's useless if you don't come. Okay, I'll leave overnight. Wait for me, Kong Mingming said quickly. If it was someone else, they might not be able to level up, but Lin Yi was different. This guy leveled up whenever he wanted, and there was no pattern to it. Sometimes it was fast, sometimes it was slow. Therefore, Kong Mingming was really afraid that Lin Yi would level up. At that time, Lin Yi wouldn't eat the extreme qi-gathering elixir anymore. If he gave the elixir to his underling, wouldn't Lin Yi come to him for revenge? Therefore, this elixir must be eaten by Lin Yi. Only by eating Lin Yi to death would they be able to put an end to this. Thinking of this, Kong Mingming didn't dare to delay. He decided to leave as soon as possible. After hanging up, Lin Yi was getting more and more suspicious. It didn't seem right at all. This wasn't Kang Xiaoming's personality. He was a sinister person. When had he ever been so considerate of others? Even if he made elixir for him, it would be for him to get it and then find a way to trick him. But this time, it was really straightforward. But no matter how much Lin Yi thought about it, he couldn't figure out what was going on. If Kang Xiaoming really did deliver the pill tomorrow, then Lin Yi didn't think that Kang Xiaoming would be able to do anything. It was a quiet night, and Lin Yi and Sun Yan fell asleep in each other's arms. This kind of warmth made Lin Yi feel at ease, and Sun Yan's condition was stabilizing as well. It seemed that the energy stones were quite effective. It'd be even better if Sun Yan could train. The next morning, Lin Yi had just woken up and made breakfast when he heard the doorbell ringing outside the villa. Lin Yi walked out to see that it was Kang Mingming. He didn't expect Kang Mingming to come this fast. He left last night and arrived this morning. This speed was pretty good. It looked like he hadn't slept the whole night. Hayashi Lin, good morning! Kang Mingming greeted Lin Yi warmly. I've brought you the elixir. Do you think you won't hold me responsible anymore? Let's forget about the misunderstanding last time. Where's the elixir? Let me have a look, Lin Yi said, holding his hand out. Here it is. Kang Mingming took out a small wooden box from his pocket and handed it to Lin Yi. The quality isn't too good. You know my skill. It's good enough that I can make this. It might be a little different from those top-grade elixirs. Chapter 3467. Lin Yi took out the elixir and looked at it carefully under the sunlight. Although Lin Yi wasn't a real alchemist, he had done some research on alchemy. Especially after taking many qi-gathering pills, he had an understanding of the smell and color of qi-gathering pills. Kang Mingming's qi-gathering pill was indeed a little different from the previous ones, but from the smell, Lin Yi identified it carefully. It was indeed the smell of a qi-gathering pill. Of course, he couldn't rule out the possibility that Kang Mingming had poisoned the qi-gathering pill, but they were all heaven stage masters. If he poisoned someone, it would be at the level of yellow or mystic stage. Heaven stage masters could force the poison out of their bodies. This was common sense. As a heaven stage master, it was impossible for Kang Ming not to know. Therefore, he probably wouldn't do such a strenuous and unrewarding thing. If Lin Yi forced the poison out, he wouldn't remember his kindness. Poisoning Lin Yi would at most cause some trouble, but it wouldn't affect anything. The quality is good. Thank you. All right, I'm going to take the pill. You can go back now. Lin Yi wasn't polite to Kang Mingming. After all, this qi-gathering pill was something he deserved. Kang Mingming took so long to give it to him. All right, then I'm leaving. Kang Mingming couldn't wait to leave. If Lin Yi ate it in front of him and died, then it would be hard to say. If he left, Lin Yi's death would have nothing to do with him. Who knew how he died? Bye-bye. Lin Yi waved his hand, but he was a little puzzled. This Kang Mingming really changed this time. He specially came to give me the pill? What a miraculous sight! With Lin Yi's understanding of Kang Mingming, there must be something fishy about this. But he couldn't put his finger on what exactly was strange about it. So Lin Yi took another careful look at the qi-gathering pill in his hand. Could it be a fake pill? But it didn't look like it. Lin Yi shook his head and returned to the villa, ready to take the elixir. Anyway, even if it was a fake pill, it wouldn't go bad even if it wasn't eaten well. Lin Yi wasn't afraid of anything. After confirming that Kang Mingming had left, Lin Yi began his journey of leveling up and breaking through, according to Lin Yi's previous experience. After preparing the qi-gathering pill, Lin Yi placed it beside him and then sat cross-legged to calm his mind. Then, Lin Yi picked up the qi-gathering pill, put it in his mouth, and swallowed it. All of a sudden, a warm current flowed from Lin Yi's abdomen to the rest of his body, followed by a scorching sensation, as if all the meridians in his body were on fire. That's right, this was the reaction after taking the qi-gathering pill. Lin Yi calmed down slightly. It seemed that Kang Mingming hadn't lied to him. This was indeed a qi-gathering pill. This was because Lin Yi had taken the qi-gathering pill many times. He was very familiar with this feeling, so Lin Yi didn't deliberately resist it. Instead, he let nature take its course, gritted his teeth, and endured. This burning sensation was getting stronger and stronger. Lin Yi felt like he was on fire. But the more painful it was, the more similar it was to when he broke through. Lin Yi felt more at ease. If he didn't feel anything, it meant that Kong Ming Ming's elixir had no effect. Gradually, the heaven and earth spiritual qi in the air gathered towards Lin Yi. It circled above his head, forming a small, invisible whirlpool. The gathering of the heaven and earth spiritual qi also meant that Lin Yi wasn't far from breaking through. This was because the heaven and earth spiritual qi resonated with the true qi in Lin Yi's body. At this moment, it was circulating rapidly around Lin Yi's body, faster and faster, and Lin Yi only felt that his body temperature was getting higher and higher. Suddenly, Lin Yi smelled something burning. Lin Yi couldn't help but smile bitterly. He forgot to take off his clothes again. How many clothes had been burned? Why didn't he remember? Soon, the clothes on his body turned into pieces of charred pieces and fell to the ground. Boom! What followed was a loud sound. The true qi energy in Lin Yi's meridians exploded at this moment. This kind of feeling was as if a true energy bomb had exploded within his body, and then he felt the boundless majestic medicinal power instantly being released, spreading to every part of his body, and unceasingly transforming into extremely pure true energy, fusing into his tendons and meridians. Breakthrough. At this moment, Lin Yi had become a late-stage heaven stage expert. From the middle stage to the late stage, it was like a qualitative leap. This kind of feeling made Lin Yi feel very good. Above heaven stage, the higher one went, the harder it was to break through. However, Lin Yi relied on the qi-gathering pill to advance all the way, which was a unique advantage. Lin Yi wanted to stretch his muscles and bones, but at this time, he was shocked to find that at this time, the true qi in his body was still rising. Although the intensity was not as fierce as the moment when he broke through, the speed of the rise was still the same as when he first took the pill. This was clearly like taking another foundation establishment pill. What was going on? Lin Yi was a little stunned. Why did this qi-gathering pill not seem to be over after breaking through one level? It still wanted to continue breaking through? But how was this possible? The qi-gathering pill refined by Zhang Liju did not have such a magical effect, but Kong Mingming's pill actually had it? However, he had no choice but to believe it. The true qi in Lin Yi's body was indeed still rising, as if it was going to break through to the next level. This feeling surprised and delighted Lin Yi. He hurriedly sat cross-legged and continued to use the art of dragon mastery to regulate the true qi in his body. However, what happened next was a little strange. Lin Yi felt that the true qi in his body was indeed still rising, but this true qi did not come from the residual effects of the qi-gathering pill in his body, but from outside his body. Previously, the heaven and earth spiritual qi above Lin Yi's head was now being absorbed into Lin Yi's meridians, and converted into his true qi. And the heaven and earth spiritual qi above Lin Yi's head was now being absorbed into Lin Yi's meridians, and transformed into his true qi. However, the heaven and earth spiritual qi above his head was very limited. Previously, Rock Candy also said that the heaven and earth spiritual qi in the natural world was really pitiful, especially in the city. The heaven and earth spiritual qi above Lin Yi's head was automatically gathered when he was breaking through, so it was absorbed and gone. And after the heaven and earth spiritual qi was gone, Lin Yi suddenly felt an indescribable discomfort. This feeling was like a person lacking oxygen, and the surrounding oxygen was not enough to sustain his breathing. If he wanted to live, he had to desperately breathe. Chapter 3468. It's so hard. Lin Yi's face turned red. He didn't understand why such a situation had occurred. He had taken the qi-gathering pill before, and there had been no problems. Why did there be such a big side effect this time? This was a suffocating feeling. Although it wasn't suffocation from breathing, it was suffocation from true qi. Lin Yi couldn't absorb the qi of heaven and earth, and the meridians all over his body were twitching in protest. Kong Ming Ming! Lin Yi suddenly thought of Kong Ming Ming. This chi-gathering pill was given to him by Kong Ming Ming. Could it be that Kong Ming Ming had done something to it, causing the situation to be different from before? After thinking about it, there was only one possibility. No wonder Kong Ming Ming could send the elixir so smoothly. It turned out that there was a conspiracy. However, at this moment, Lin Yi couldn't care less about hating Kong Ming Ming. He had to think of a solution. Now, the surrounding chi of heaven and earth was not enough for Lin Yi to absorb, so Lin Yi had to find a solution. Suddenly, Lin Yi slapped his head. He really didn't know he was sitting on a mountain of treasures. The chi of heaven and earth in the secular world was almost gone, but the space in the jade pendant had everything. Lin Yi could go in at any time to absorb the endless chi of heaven and earth. Thinking of this, Lin Yi quickly entered the space in the jade pendant. At this moment, Lin Yi was like a dragon flying into the sea. His whole body was extremely comfortable. The pure chi in the space in the jade pendant flowed into Lin Yi's meridians, and elixir flowed through his meridians. And the true chi in Lin Yi's body. At this moment, it also soared. It was as if he had taken another chi-gathering pill. However, even so, Lin Yi's heart was still a little perturbed. After all, Lin Yi didn't know if there were any side effects of this pill. If there were, there might be some problems if this continued. But even so, Lin Yi had no other choice. He could only take it one step at a time and satisfy his current demand for heaven and earth's spiritual chi first. In just a few breaths, the true chi in Lin Yi's body had more than doubled, and it was still rising. Suddenly, the rising speed of the true chi stopped, and Lin Yi once again touched the barrier of the peak late stage of heaven rank. It can't be right? This chi-gathering pill could actually raise 2 levels in a row? Lin Yi was a little shocked. Apart from being a little scary, this thing was a rare treasure. Such a good thing. Did Patriarch Xianxin know that Kong Ming Ming had given it to him? He didn't know where it came from, but a huge force suddenly appeared in Lin Yi's body, charging at every tendon and meridian in an incomparably domineering manner. Wherever the force passed, tendons and meridians, no matter big or small, would obviously expand. And at the same time, the barrier that he had touched before also began to slowly melt. This process was so smooth that even Lin Yi himself found it hard to believe. But at this moment, the majestic true chi that continued to rise rapidly in his body clearly showed that that layer of barrier had indeed been broken by the huge force of the Foundation Establishment barrier-breaking pill. There was no pain like when he broke through to the late stage of heaven rank. When Lin Yi broke through to the peak late stage of heaven rank, it was a completely natural and smooth feeling. Could it be because of the continuous breakthroughs? That the second breakthrough was not as painful as before? As for the specific reason, Lin Yi didn't quite understand. But after breaking through the barrier, Lin Yi could clearly feel that the true chi in his body, whether it was in terms of purity or strength, had clearly skyrocketed compared to before. And at this time, the true chi in his body was still rising. Although the intensity was not as fierce as at the beginning, it was still rising very obviously. This was clearly the residual effect of this chi-gathering pill. This process continued for the time it took for an incense stick to burn before it gradually calmed down. And at this time, the true chi in Lin Yi's body was a third more than when he had just broken through the barrier. He was only one step away from the peak of heaven rank late stage great circle. Lin Yi's body gradually calmed down, and he no longer absorbed the spiritual chi of heaven and earth. And the burning feeling of the pill in his stomach also disappeared. Perhaps the effect of the pill had been used up? However, Lin Yi didn't dare to go out of the space of the jade pendant immediately. Instead, he sat quietly in the space of the jade pendant, waiting for an emergency. However, Lin Yi sat in the space of the jade pendant for about an hour, and nothing strange happened. Everything was so normal. And Lin Yi's strength had also stabilized. An expert with the strength of the peak late stage of heaven rank was not far from the great perfection. This chi-gathering pill was really a good thing. Lin Yi thought, Kong Ming Ming only gave me one. If I had another, wouldn't I be an expert at the great perfection? Maybe I could even break through to the heavenly way. Of course, Lenny was just thinking about it. This was definitely not a chi-gathering pill, at least not an ordinary chi-gathering pill. At this moment, Lenny also understood Kong Ming Ming's purpose. That chi-gathering pill, according to common sense, after Lenny took it, the consequences would be quite serious. If Lenny didn't have the space of the jade pendant, it was very likely that there would be problems due to the lack of true chi. It might even be life-threatening. After all, the feeling before was as painful as suffocation. Kong Ming Ming was really sinister. If he didn't have the space of the jade pendant, it would really be difficult for him to escape this time. However, since this kid gave him such a good thing, if he didn't call him to thank him, it would be unreasonable. After Lenny left the space of the jade pendant, he picked up the phone and dialed Kong Ming Ming's number. Kong Ming Ming said that he left, but in fact, he didn't leave at all. He called Patriarch Xianchen and told him about what happened here. Although Lenny took away the chi-gathering pill, Patriarch Xianchen was not at ease. He was afraid that Lenny would give it to others and not take it himself, so he asked Kong Ming Ming to monitor nearby. If Lenny went out or if Lin Yi's underlings came to visit, he would quickly think of a way to stop them. However, Kong Ming Ming waited for a long time and didn't see anyone. When he was about to fall asleep, the phone suddenly rang. He quickly picked it up and saw that it was Lin Yi's number. This made Kong Ming Ming a little puzzled. Lin Yi hadn't taken the chi-gathering pill for such a long time? It had been a few hours. Kong Ming Ming thought that Lin Yi had eaten it to death. He didn't expect that he could still call. Chapter 3469. Why did you say that I didn't take it? Lin Yi asked. Normally, after taking the chi-gathering pill, it will take a long time, right? Then you have to consolidate your strength and so on. It's quite slow. How can you have the mood to make a phone call? Kong Ming Ming said. Oh, I thought you meant that I can't make a phone call if I eat it to death, Lin Yi said. Haha, Hayashi Lin, you must be joking. How can you eat the chi-gathering pill to death? It's not the poison pill. Kong Ming Ming laughed and said. That's hard to say. If you do something bad, I will eat it to death, Lin Yi said. How is that possible? Kong Ming Ming said. I don't know how to refine the poison pill. Besides, you and I are both heaven stage masters. It's meaningless to use poison. What if it's a special poison? Lin Yi asked. Hayashi Lin, why are you calling me? I'm resting. I've been traveling day and night to deliver the pill to you and I haven't slept. I finally have a rest and plan to return to the Five Elements sect when I wake up. Why are you telling me this? Kong Ming Ming was somewhat inexplicable. Why is Lin Yi implying something? Did he find something wrong with the chi-gathering pill? It shouldn't be. There shouldn't be any difference on the surface. Please don't find out. Oh, actually, it's nothing. I just ate this pill. I think it's very good. Not only did I upgrade, but I also upgraded 2 levels. Thank you for your pill. Do you have any more of this pill? Give me another one, Lin Yi said. Huh! Kong Ming Ming suddenly widened his eyes and almost threw the phone in his hand. Ate it? And upgraded? And upgraded 2 levels in a row? How is this possible? It's not scientific. Kong Xiaoming didn't believe it. Ha! Hayashi Lin, are you kidding? How can there be such a pill that can raise 2 levels in a row? You definitely haven't eaten it yet, right? I ate it. Why don't you believe me? Lin Yi was also a little speechless. This Kong Ming Ming really didn't know that there was a problem with this medicinal pill. I thought it was a medicinal pill that you specially refined for me. The effect is really good. This? Hayashi Lin, did you really take it? And it leveled up twice? Kong Xiaoming still didn't believe it. So he said, then wait for me. I'll go over now. Let me see what's going on. Oh. You do it then. When Lin Yi heard that Kong Ming Ming was coming over, he was even more certain that this was definitely Kong Ming Ming's doing. He made a medicinal pill to take his life. In the end, not only did he not achieve his goal, but he also raised 2 levels in a row. Anyone would be shocked by this. Not long after, Kang Mingming came to Lin Yi's villa anxiously. When he saw Lin Yi, he asked, "Guru Lin Yi, you really leveled up? Let me see? You haven't seen the world. Why are you so excited when I leveled up?" Lin Yi curled his lips. "You're retarded. But I can let you see." After that, Lin Yi revealed his peak heaven stage late stage strength. This strength couldn't be faked. Kang Mingming immediately widened his eyes. Isn't this too unbelievable? Lin Yi ate the extreme qi gathering pill and was actually fine? Could it be that there was a problem with my refining? Or there was no problem with the extreme qi gathering pill at all? Looking at Kang Mingming standing there in a daze, Lin Yi coughed twice and said, "I say, Kang Mingming, you finished looking. Is there anything else?" "No, no more." Kang Mingming didn't believe it. But the truth was in front of him. He had no choice but to believe it. He shook his head. He left Lin Yi's villa in a daze. It wasn't easy to work hard for many days and nights to successfully refine the extreme qi gathering pill. He didn't expect it to be a wedding dress for Lin Yi. It was so F***ing frustrating. Kang Mingming left the villa. He didn't walk far before he couldn't help but take out his phone and call ancestor Xianqin. "Zhao Ming, how is it going? Did you give the extreme qi gathering pill to Lin Yi? Did that kid eat it?" Ancestor Xianqin was more anxious than Kang Mingming. He also wanted Lin Yi to die quickly. Yes. Lin Yi also ate it, but he didn't die. Kang Mingming smiled bitterly and said in a daze, "Didn't die? The effect of the extreme qi gathering pill you refined wasn't good? That's impossible. Xianjin and I checked it." Ancestor Xianqin was puzzled. He didn't die. Not only that, but he rose 2 levels in a row and became an expert with the strength of the peak late stage of heaven stage. I can see that his aura is not far from the great perfection. Kang Mingming sighed and said, "What did you say? Kang Mingming, did you see it wrong?" Lin Yi also rose. "And he's an expert with the strength of the peak late stage of heaven stage, close to the great perfection? How is this possible?" Ancestor Xuanqin's breathing became rapid. "Are you sure that he took the extreme qi gathering pill, and it was because of the extreme qi gathering pill that he leveled up?" "This should be," Kang Mingming said. "Did you see it with your own eyes?" Ancestor Xianqin asked. "That's not true. When he took the pill, it's impossible for me to watch by the side," Kang Mingming said. "This Lin Yi is very cunning. He's very good at pretending and lying," Ancestor Xianqin said. "I think that maybe Lin Yi has long been an expert with the strength of the peak late stage of heaven stage. He deliberately lied to us that he was at the peak middle stage of heaven stage. His goal was to make us numb and refine pills for him. Because with his strength at the peak late stage of heaven stage, if he takes another qi gathering pill, it's very likely that he will break through to the great perfection realm. In this way, we definitely won't let this happen. And when Lin Yi took our extreme qi gathering pill this time, I suspect that he might have recognized that there was something wrong with the pill, so he didn't take it. Then, when he saw that we couldn't refine pills for him, he didn't need to hide his strength anymore, so he revealed his original strength and deceived you. He made us feel that it was the effect of the extreme qi gathering pill, so we held back for a while." "That's right." After listening to Ancestor Xuanqin's analysis, Kang Mingming was suddenly enlightened. Thinking about Lin Yi's usual personality and style, it was really possible. Acting like a grassroots loose cultivator was referring to Lin Yi. Thinking that it wasn't because of his extreme qi gathering pill that Lin Yi leveled up, Kang Mingming's mood improved again. Forget it, if he recognized it, then he recognized it. Maybe it was Boss Bai who taught him. Chapter 3470. Even if it was Patriarch Xianqin himself, it was unlikely that he could kill Lin Yi. "Alright, I won't bring him along anyway. I'll piss him off." Thinking of this, Kang Mingming felt much more at ease. "Yes, piss him off, piss him off." Patriarch Xianchen also comforted himself. I won't let him come. He can't do anything anyway. He can't go against all the masters of the ancient sects, can he? Today, I'll announce the rules of the trial to the public and cut off Lin Yi's thoughts. Great, then I'll go back now, Kang Mingming said. After sending letters to all the ancient sects and families, today, Patriarch Xianchen announced an announcement regarding the participation of individual cultivators in the heaven-level trial. All individual cultivators or disciples of sects that were not qualified could use the map fragment of the heaven-level island as a token to participate in the heaven-level trial. Of course, this map fragment was scattered in all corners of the Huaxia cultivation world. It was very difficult to really obtain it. Although many of the map fragments were scattered outside, there were only a few people who could obtain it. Then, Patriarch Xianchen also announced the registration number, which was his phone number, for those who had the map fragment to sign up. As soon as this news came out, Lin Yi naturally received the news immediately. It was Boss Bai who informed him, and Lin Yi also wanted to ask about the qi-gathering pill that he had taken previously. So after hearing this news, Lin Yi said, Master, there's something very strange. It's like this. As he spoke, Lin Yi told Boss Bai about the strange situation after taking the qi-gathering pill. After hearing it, Boss Bai suddenly exclaimed, What? You took it? According to what you said, that's not a qi-gathering pill, but a kind of pill called the ultimate qi-gathering pill. The ultimate qi-gathering pill? What's that? Lin Yi was slightly stunned. It's like this. The so-called extreme qi-gathering pill not only has the effect of leveling up, but also can bring out the potential of the practitioner. While the practitioner absorbs the pure energy inside the pill, he must also absorb a large amount of spiritual energy, and the effect is much more than that of a normal qi-gathering pill. He can make continuous breakthroughs and leveling up, Boss Bai explained. But if the absorption is not enough, if it's light, your meridians will be severed. If it's heavy, your body will explode and you will die. That's right, that's the feeling. Lin Yi nodded in agreement. This is the extreme qi-gathering pill. It looks like a good thing, but it's like poison. Are there still places that can absorb so much spiritual qi of heaven and earth? So this medicinal pill was used by Xianchen and the others to harm you. Boss Bai was more or less infuriated, but then he thought of a very serious problem. Lin Yi, are you all right after taking it? Hee, don't forget, I have the energy stones from the Bubbly clan. Lin Yi did not talk about the jade pendant space, but pushed the problem to the energy stones. I see. Boss Bai was enlightened. No wonder. But you're a little too dangerous in the future. In the future, if there's such a pill, don't eat it. You must bring it to me for appraisal, and then we'll talk. Okay, I got it. Lin Yi nodded. Then I'll call Patriarch Xianchen right now. Say that you want to sign up for the heaven-level trial? Okay. Boss Bai nodded. Previously, Patriarch Xianchen had been rejecting Lin Yi. He didn't want Lin Yi to participate in the trial, but now, he probably had a feeling of lifting a rock only to hit his own foot. Hanging up the phone, Lin Yi called Patriarch Xianchen directly. Patriarch Xianchen, I'm Lin Yi. Lin Yi said after the call was connected. In fact, Patriarch Xianchen had long saved Lin Yi's number, but he had never called it. It was always Kang Mingming who contacted Lin Yi. Lin Yi? What's the matter? Patriarch Xianchen was a little confused as to why Lin Yi suddenly called him. Patriarch Xianchen, I want to sign up and participate in the heaven-level trial, Lin Yi said. This? Lin Yi, you also know that your current identity is senior brother Xuanchen's disciple. If you want to sign up, you must be recommended by him. However, the person he recommended is Guan Xian, a wood inheritor, so you won't have a chance. Patriarch Xianchen said. Oh, I didn't say that. I'm talking about another way to sign up, Lin Yi said. Another way to sign up? Patriarch Xianchen was slightly stunned and said, What way to sign up? Do you have a map fragment of the heaven-level island? The map fragment of the heaven-level island had been released many years ago. Linny had only stepped into the heaven level from a yellow rank cultivator in this year. Although he could be said to be a genius, it shouldn't have much to do with the map fragment. Naturally, Linny said, I have 3 map fragments. I'll sign up first. I haven't decided who to give the other 2 spots to. I'll call you when I think about it. Ah? Patriarch Xianqian was stunned. In his opinion, it was impossible for Lin Yi to have such a thing. However, not only did Lin Yi have it, but he also had 3. That was quite a lot. However, Patriarch Xianqian was also a smart person. He adjusted his emotions and said, This, Lin Yi, you are not a rogue cultivator. You have a sect. If the person in charge of your sect doesn't agree, then you can't participate. You mean that I'm from the 5 Elements sect, and you are the person in charge of our sect? Lin Yi asked with a frown. Of course not. The person in charge I'm talking about is Senior Brother Xianqian, your master. Although Patriarch Xianqian wanted to mess with Lin Yi, he couldn't say that kind of words. It didn't make sense. If Boss Bai found out, he would definitely cause trouble with him. Moreover, if Boss Bai said that the 5 Elements sect, as the initiator of the Heaven-level island plan, did not limit the number of disciples participating, then how should Xianqian answer? It would be better to separate Lin Yi. Oh, then he will definitely agree. Lin Yi nodded after listening. That's not necessarily true. It's best to confirm it, Patriarch Xianqian said. We are also doing things according to the rules. You must let Boss Bai issue a letter to you. I got it, Lin Yi said. Then you wait. After that, Lin Yi hung up the phone. He felt a little strange. This Patriarch Xianqian knew that Boss Bai would definitely agree and issue a letter. What did he mean by saying that? Could it be that he was unhappy because I have the map fragment, and wanted to find a sense of existence? After thinking about it, this was the only possibility. Lin Yi really couldn't think of any other possibilities. Chapter 3471. Father-in-law, what's wrong? Why are you so angry? Kang Mingming, who had just rushed back, saw Patriarch Xianqian's frown and immediately felt a little strange. Didn't we agree not to bring Lin Yi to play? That's true, but some things just don't develop according to your wishes. Lin Yi actually has a map fragment in his hands, and there's more than one, Patriarch Xianqian said. I remember, back in the Secular World's House Use auction, Lin Yi did seem to get a fragment of the map. I ignored it before, but now that you mention it I remember. Kang Mingming had a vague impression, but he didn't think it was a fragment of the map of Heaven Stage Island. Yes, this is really not easy to handle, Patriarch Xianqian said. Unless Boss Bai doesn't send a letter to Lin Yi, then Lin Yi won't have the chance to participate in the Heaven Stage trial. However, it's impossible for Boss Bai not to send a letter to Lin Yi. What if Boss Bai hates Lin Yi? Kang Mingming thought about it and said, Is there any way for us to sow discord? Sow discord? Very good. Patriarch Xianqian slapped his thigh and suddenly thought of something. He laughed and said, Zhao Ming, you are really my proud disciple. Your suggestion is very good. Oh? Father-in-law, you have already thought of a way to sow discord? Kang Mingming asked quickly. That's right. Patriarch Xianqian nodded and said, You go and rest first. This period of refining pills is tiring enough. Conserve your energy and prepare for the Heaven Stage trial. And I'll make arrangements here. All right, then I'll go and rest first. Kang Mingming was indeed very tired during this period. He was as tired as a dead dog. He finally refined an extreme qi-gathering pill with great difficulty, but he didn't cheat Lin Yi. Over here. After Kang Mingming left, Patriarch Xianqian picked up his phone and hesitated for a moment before dialing a number. After the call connected, Patriarch Xianqian gave some instructions in a low voice. However, the person on the other side was clearly a little emotional. He wanted to reject Patriarch Xianqian's suggestion, but Patriarch Xianqian said, This must be done. Did you hear that? Otherwise, you know the consequences. Your parents and family will all be finished. On the other side, After hearing these words, they fell silent, tacitly agreeing to this proposal. On Lin Yi's side, he called Boss Bai again and told him about the recommendation letter. I know about this. I'll write a letter for you. You can give it to Xianchen when the time comes. Boss Bai agreed without hesitation. By the way, Wei Tuo said that Mei Wei and the others want to invite you over for dinner tonight to thank you for saving them in Southeast Asia. There's no need to thank me. But eating is not a problem. I also want to get the letter. Lin Yi smiled and said, Then I will go at night. Okay, see you at night, Boss Bai said. In the evening, Lin Yi came to Boss Bai's house. There was already a burst of fragrance in the kitchen. Bai Wei Tuo was wearing an apron and was busy in the kitchen with Guan Xian. What Lin Yi didn't expect was, Bai Wei Tuo still has the ability to cook? Guan Xian smiled at Lin Yi. The matter was resolved, and her mood was much better. She heard that Lin Yi was coming to dinner tonight. She would cook personally, and Bai Wei Tuo would be her assistant. Boss, Mei Wei is in my bedroom. She said that she wants to thank you personally, and she bought you a small gift online, Bai Wei Tuo said. You two are too polite. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Why did you buy a gift? I don't lack anything. It's just a token of appreciation, haha. Bai Wei Tuo was also very happy recently. The incident in Southeast Asia had obviously allowed him to successfully capture He Meiyue's heart. Although He Meiyue had not yet agreed to the last line of defense, the two of them were now sleeping together. Lin Yi nodded and walked in the direction of Bai Wei Tuo's bedroom. Lin Yi, you are here! He Meiyue waited for Lin Yi to come in, closed the bedroom door, and then said shyly, Things in Southeast Asia, I really want to thank you. I have always liked you. Thank you, ah? Lin Yi suddenly froze. He didn't understand what He Meiyue was trying to do. He Meiyue, don't joke around, I'm not joking. I like you? Although I can't be with you, but we can secretly. As He Meiyue said this, she tore the pajamas on her body. She was actually wearing nothing inside. This change made Lin Yi suddenly stunned. He looked at He Meiyue in astonishment. He really didn't understand what was wrong with He Meiyue. It's okay, then I'll go first. Lin Yi didn't have the idea of taking advantage of He Meiyue. He quickly turned his head and was ready to leave, but he didn't expect He Meiyue to directly rush over and hug him. It was reasonable to say that Lin Yi was an expert at the peak of the late stage of heaven stage. He was close to the great perfection realm. It was easy for him to escape, but he was really shocked that He Meiyue didn't put up any defenses. At this moment, He Meiyue was hugging him tightly. Lin Yi wanted to push her away, but He Meiyue didn't let go. Lin Yi was about to force her away, but He Meiyue unexpectedly shouted, Help, help! Lin Yi frowned. This was strange no matter how he looked at it. Although he was a heaven stage expert, it wasn't easy to push He Meiyue away without hurting her. As He Meiyue shouted, the door was suddenly pushed open. Bai Wei Tuo rushed in hurriedly with a kitchen knife in his hand. However, seeing the scene in front of him, the kitchen knife directly fell to the ground with a clang sound. Boss Bai and Guan Xian also walked in. Seeing the scene in front of them, they were also a little stunned. Wei Tuo. Lin Yi wants to do that to me. He Meiyue broke away from Lin Yi's embrace, ran to Bai Wei Tuo's side, threw herself into Bai Wei Tuo's arms, and started to cry. What? Although Bai Wei Tuo didn't believe that Lin Yi would do anything to He Meiyue, seeing that she was almost naked, he also couldn't come back to his senses for a while. Boss Bai turned his head. He Meiyue's clothes were untidy, so he couldn't look too much. He was a little confused. Lin Yi wanted to molest He Meiyue? How was that possible? Guan Xian was also very shocked. Lin Yi. Did he have to molest He Meiyue? It would be great if he molested her, and she could even cosplay as a nurse. Chapter 3472. I wanted to thank Lin Yi for saving me and Wei Tuo, but he told me to thank him with my body. He Meiyue sobbed. Tell you to thank him with your body? Bai Wei Tuo looked at He Meiyue in shock. To be honest, he didn't believe it, but it was his girlfriend who said it, so he was in a dilemma. He wasn't an idiot. Linny had so many beautiful girlfriends, and Guan Xian was one of them. Did Linny have to do something to Himeiwa? As expected, Guan Xian was annoyed. She and Linny had confirmed their relationship, so she spoke with confidence. Himeiwa, what do you mean? Why would Linny molest you? If he wants to molest me, he can molest me. Are you prettier than me? Better than my figure? Gentler than me? Better at cooking than me? Better at helping Linny than me? Guan Xian's words made Bai Weituo even more suspicious. Boss Bai, on the other hand, stood quietly at the side, looking at the people in the field. He did not speak, but observed. Bai Weituo, I don't know what's going on either, believe it or not. Linny shrugged and said helplessly. Believe it! Bai Weituo suddenly nodded and sneered. He pushed Himeiwa away and slapped her face. Bitch, are you crazy? You want to seduce boss and frame him? Do you think I'm an idiot? If Brother Lin wanted to do anything to you, he could have asked Kun Siyuan to take you there first. Why did he have to save us all? Himeiwa was also stunned and looked at Bai Weituo in disbelief. She didn't expect Bai Weituo to hit her. Himeiwa, tell me what's going on. At this moment, Boss Bai finally opened his mouth. Before, I always felt that you were with Bai Weituo for a purpose. It had never disappeared, but it was just a feeling. You've behaved well these days, and you're a qualified granddaughter-in-law, so I allowed you to be with Weituo. My feeling is not wrong. To be honest, if there's a reason, and Weituo forgives you, you can stay here. Otherwise, you can just leave. You don't believe me? Himeiwa gritted her teeth. She raised her head and looked at Bai Weituo stubbornly. On her fair face, the palm print was particularly eye-catching. It was a ghastly sight to behold. Seeing that no one spoke, Himeiwa also fell silent. She didn't know what to do. She was hesitating. Struggle. Himeiwa, what's your relationship with Xianqin? Boss Bai suddenly asked. Himeiwa raised her head in shock and looked at Boss Bai. When I was in the Five Elements sect, Xianqin had two female disciples, Little 10 and Little 11. Little 11 is his daughter, called Himeichi. Boss Bai seemed to be lost in memories. According to Xuanqin's rule, his disciples must change their surnames to He. You are Himeiwa, and she is Himeichi. You are the disciple of Little 10 who died young in Xuanqin's mouth, right? Himeiwa looked at Boss Bai, speechless. Before, I didn't think so much. After all, there are many people with the same name. But today, I suddenly thought of something. My guess is right? Little 10? Boss Bai said casually. Back then, you were perhaps only wounded and lost all your strength, but you did not die and became an ordinary person. Xianqin, on the other hand, sent you back to the mortal world as a chess piece that might never be used, right? I'm sorry. Himeiwa cried her heart out. She knelt down in front of Boss Bai. Uncle, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Master forced me to do it, so that's how it is. Boss Bai sighed helplessly. Based on his understanding of ancestor Xianqin, this guy was really capable of doing anything, so his dissatisfaction towards Himeiwa faded a lot. Stand up. Since you are from the same sect, you don't have to do this. Linny is also your senior brother. Tell me, why did you frame him? I'm indeed Ancestor Black Earth's disciple, ranked 10th. I'm not sure what my real name is either. When I was very young, I was brought to the Five Elements sect by my master. Later on, I was heavily injured by an explosion when I was concocting pills, and all my meridians were severed. It seemed like my master wanted to test something, and I almost died. Later on, after I recovered, I no longer had any strength, so I was sent to the secular world. From then on, he sponsored me to go to school, and only contacted me. Until now, I have never seen my parents. He has always used my parents as a threat to make me do things for him. Test? Is the elixir you refined called the Resurrection Golden Elixir? Boss Bai suddenly asked. Yes, uncle, do you know about it? Himewa was slightly stunned. Yes. I was also injured because of this elixir. Boss Bai smiled bitterly, and his gaze towards Himewa was much gentler. It seemed that Xianxin wanted to get rid of him, so he used such an insidious method, but Himewa was a sacrifice for the experiment. Huh. Himewa was stunned. Okay, let's not talk about this. I have studied the elixir recipe carefully later. It is a 7th grade, or even 8th grade elixir recipe, and it can't be refined at all. If I use the usual method, I will definitely be injured or go berserk. Boss Bai waved his hand and said, Did he force you to do what happened today? Yes, I argued with him, but he didn't agree. He threatened me with my parents, so I had no choice but to agree. Himewa sighed and said firmly, But uncle, I really like Bai Weituo, and I want to be with him. Meiwe. Bai Weituo also regretted hitting Himewa at this time. It seemed that she had her own difficulties, so she was also a poor person. Okay, it's not your fault. Linny thought of Yushu, a girl who also had a hard life, and was controlled by others for the same reason. Since Linny could forgive Yushu, why couldn't he forgive Himewa? Thank you. Thank you, Himewa said gratefully. Himewa, apart from this, have you done anything bad? Boss Bai nodded and continued to ask. Chapter 3473. The rest is to monitor Big Brother Lin Yi. Himewa did not hide it and said, Master Xianxin has given me a task from time to time to monitor Lin Yi's every move. Everything he says and does must be reported to him. Lin Yi nodded and said, Then this time, just say that I knocked you out and failed. Don't say that you were exposed. I will help you investigate your parents. Lin Yi said. Thank you, Brother Lin Yi, Himewa said gratefully. Weituo Himewa had no choice. Let's forget about it this time. Don't blame her, Lin Yi said. Since Himewa had admitted her mistake, there was no need to pursue it further. And, as long as Big Brother Lin doesn't blame her, I'll be fine. Bai Weituo said. Listen to Meiwe. She's also a pitiful person. It's all because of that patriarch Xianxin. Meiwe, I'm sorry just now. I was impulsive and hit you. It's okay. It's my fault. It's only right for you to hit me. I should have come clean from the start. I shouldn't have taken the risk out of desperation, Himewa said. Well, Meiwe, call Xianxin and tell him about it. Then let's go to eat. Boss Bai waved his hand. This matter was over. Yes. Himewa nodded. This time, she did not hide it anymore. She directly called Patriarch Xianxin in front of everyone. Little Ten, how's it going? Patriarch Xianxin picked up the phone and asked anxiously. I'm sorry, Master. Lin Yi is very vigilant. As soon as I tore my clothes, I made my intentions known. He knocked me out, Himewa said. Oh? That shouldn't be the case. According to Zhao Ming, this Lin Yi is a lustful man. He has so many beautiful girlfriends. You offered yourself to him, but he didn't want you. Patriarch Xianxin frowned. It was very possible that Lin Yi could react in time and knock him out. After all, Lin Yi was now an expert close to the great perfection realm, so it was normal for him to have such skills. However, why wasn't Lin Yi tempted at all? He didn't even want the food that was delivered to his doorstep? This? Himewa smiled bitterly. Maybe I'm not as good-looking as his girlfriend. That's not right. His girlfriend is an inheritor that can't be touched. He shouldn't have no interest in you. Patriarch Xianxin was still a little confused. Let's just talk about my classmate, Xinyan. With Lin Yi's strength, do you think he'd let her have a relationship with Thaolong? Perhaps Lin Yi already had something going on with her. Of course, this is only my speculation. Himewa wanted to gain Patriarch Xianxin's trust. He wasn't afraid of speaking nonsense. What you said makes sense. Patriarch Black Earth sighed. He really had no more tricks up his sleeves. He had only thought of using this move because he was desperate. Originally, he did not intend to expose Himewa so quickly, but in the end, he did not succeed. Lin Yi was not as stupid as he thought. If it wasn't for the fact that there was no other way, Patriarch Black Earth could not do this. Now that Lin Yi's participation in the Heaven Stage trial was unstoppable, he could only let him participate. Otherwise, there was really no reason to refuse. However, actually, thinking about it, even if Lin Yi went, what could he do? There was one more of him. It was just a little more annoying to see. It was also a good thing that he protected those inheritors and accepted the final 5 elements inheritance. After all, they were all his girlfriends. How could he let anything happen to them? At that time, at the final Heaven Stage meeting, he would find a reason to eliminate Lin Yi. Thinking of this, Patriarch Black Earth was slightly relieved, so he continued. Did Lin Yi suspect you or have a secret with them? Not really. Maybe Lin Yi really thought that I fell in love with him when I was rescued in Southeast Asia. After all, many of Lin Yi's girlfriends fell in love with him when he was a hero saving a beauty. Maybe he thought that I was like that too, Himewa said. And he might have considered the friendship between him and Bai Weituo, so he didn't say it. When I woke up, I went out to take a look and found that there was nothing wrong with everyone, and then continued to be undercover. It's not your fault this time. It's true that you're not as good looking as Wang Xinyan, but it's nothing. Patriarch Black Earth was also a person who did big things. Since it was impossible, he did not continue to dwell on these trivial matters. I understand, Himewa said quickly. The matter was over for the time being. No one would mention this to make Himewa feel bad. After all, she was also a victim. Lin Yi took the letter issued by Boss Bai and began to prepare for the Heaven Stage trial. With Lin Yi's current ability and strength, it was enough to support Han Jingjing's alchemy. Therefore, before the Heaven Stage trial officially began, Lin Yi found Han Jingjing and planned to refine more qi-gathering pills with her. During this period, Lin Yi contacted a few ancient families that he was familiar with and plundered a lot of materials for qi-gathering pills. Although some ancient sects did not have a very good relationship with Lin Yi and were very dissatisfied with Lin Yi's robbing behavior, they dared not speak up. For example, the Dongfang family. Old Master Dongfang Badeo? I'm Lin Yi, Lin Yi said straightforwardly. Recently, I have just been promoted to the peak of the late stage of Heaven Stage, and I am trying to break through to the Great Perfection. Your family should have materials for refining qi-gathering pills. Give me some, and then I can break through to the Great Perfection. Well, you send someone to send it to me, don't let me get it. From beginning to end, Dongfang Badeo was hung up without a word. Although he was aggrieved, he was really helpless. Everyone was at the peak of the late stage of Heaven Stage, and they were all close to the Great Perfection, but Lin Yi's strength was stronger than him. Perhaps even if he participated in the Heaven Stage trial in a few days and really hit the Great Perfection, he was not the opponent of the current Lin Yi. Didn't you hear that the ancient level had already spread? Lin Yi could independently kill the master of the peak of the late stage of Heaven Stage. Unless many masters of the Great Perfection joined forces to strangle Lin Yi, otherwise, there was no way to deal with him. However, where could he find so many masters of the Great Perfection to surround Lin Yi? It was a completely unrealistic idea. Even if he wanted to, others might not agree. Only the initiator of the Heaven Stage Island plan, who had the appeal like ancestor Xianqin, was qualified. Chapter 3474. Anyway, no one in the Dongfang family could refine this thing, and it was useless to put the materials in the warehouse. At the same time, some of the ancient sects and houses weren't very willing, but some of them wanted to get on Lin Yi's good side. With the materials from before, Lin Yi had a total of 15 portions of materials for the qi-gathering pill. Even if the refining of the materials for the qi-gathering pill failed halfway, it was enough to refine a lot of qi-gathering pills. Lin Yi had 3 entrance tickets to the Heaven class trial, so there were still 2 places left. Of these 2 places, Lin Yi actually wanted to give one to Han Jingjing, and the other to Wang Xinyan or Sun Jingyi. Wang Xinyan had some problems with her physique, and he didn't know if she could cultivate, and Sun Jingyi was an auxiliary type, and her mental cultivation method was different from Lin Yi's, and he didn't know if she could do it. The key was that Sun Jingyi's level was different from normal levels, and it didn't matter much to her whether she could go to the heaven-class island or not. However, the qi-gathering pills still had to be refined, and Han Jingjing had to break through. Han Jingjing's first and second level automatic medicinal cauldrons were already on the market, but the Heavenly Elixir sect, or the Five Elements sect's imitation, was still not on the market. It was not that Dr. Benjamin too didn't want to be on the market, but because the first and second level automatic medicinal cauldrons used a kind of energy stone, the so-called spirit stone, which was simply not available. The Five Elements sect didn't have much of this kind of thing. It was enough to keep it for their own use, but if they used it for the use of those medicinal cauldrons, then they would be stretched thin, and even if they sold it, they couldn't provide after-sales service to those who bought it. When this news came, it made Ancestor Xianxin very upset. The extreme qi-gathering pill didn't kill Lin Yi. Meiwa didn't punish Lin Yi, and now she had mastered the technology of the first and second level automatic medicinal cauldrons, but it was completely useless. The most important material needed, the energy stone, couldn't be obtained at all. Zhaoming, there's news from the first and second level cauldrons. They can't be replicated. We don't have enough energy stones. I don't know where Lin Yi got them from. Patriarch Xianxin said helplessly. Don't even think about making money. I don't think our Five Elements sect is suitable for doing business. We've been following the trend and haven't made any money. Instead, he was going to lose all his savings. Now most of my disciples are dead. Some are dead, and some are injured. When the two of us go to the Heaven Stage Island, I'm afraid the Five Elements sect in the secular world will decline. This, father-in-law, let's take it one step at a time. If you and I can both break through to the way of heaven at the same time, it won't be difficult for us to rebuild the Five Elements sect when we return. I think we shouldn't think too much about this matter. Lin Yi's energy stones were probably obtained from the Bubbly clan. The Bubbly clan has a lot of these things. I don't know what agreement Lin Yi and the Bubbly clan reached at that time, or else they wouldn't have killed Big Senior Brother. Kong Mingming said. However, if we talk about energy stones, I think of something. Lin Yi took the extreme qi-gathering pill. Maybe it was because there were energy stones for him to absorb energy. That's why he was saved from danger. Oh? That's very possible. Patriarch Xuanxin's face turned gloomy after listening. I didn't think of this. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have refined pills for him. It's really a waste of effort. That's right. Kong Mingming nodded. Next, I will wholeheartedly prepare for the Heaven Stage trial. Father-in-law, during this time, I'm going to refine a few qi-gathering pills to increase my strength to the peak of the late stage of Heaven Stage. Oh? Zhaoming, have you really decided? Patriarch Xianxin was slightly stunned. The advantage of us alchemists is that we can refine qi-gathering pills for our own consumption, but qi-gathering pills are only effective for experts below the Heavenly Way. You can't use qi-gathering pills to advance to the Heavenly Way. If there are no such pills to improve strength above the Heavenly Way, then you may never be able to set foot on the Heavenly Way. Because no one can say for sure what will happen in the future, they have all experienced it. With my strength, when the time comes to open the Heaven Stage Island, won't I be cannon fodder? So, I must improve my strength. This is my last chance, let's give it a shot. If I go to the Heaven Stage Island and have no hope of advancing, then I will come back here and continue to lead the Five Elements sect. Anyway, it's a good thing that my strength is there. At worst, I won't think about the Heavenly Way anymore. Kong Mingming said fiercely. Moreover, Lin Yi also took elixirs to advance. This guy almost never advanced by himself. I think he has been relying on elixirs to advance all the way. If he's fine, I guess I'll be fine too. Also, Lin Yi has been frantically collecting materials for qi-gathering pills recently. He said it was for himself to break through the Heavenly Way, but I think it's for the people around him. Alright, then you go. Patriarch Xianxin nodded after listening and agreed with Kong Mingming's proposal. On Lin Yi's side, he had the same plan. Kang Ming was really right. After receiving the news, Han Jingjing returned to East Ocean City overnight. Brother Lin, are you talking about refining third-grade elixirs? Although Jing is confident, we don't have a third-grade medicine cauldron. Han Jingjing said with some embarrassment. Jing has been simulating the formula and method of refining third-grade elixirs, but without a medicine cauldron, I can't experiment. That's a problem. Lin suddenly remembered that he didn't have a third-grade medicine cauldron. He had always wanted to get one before, but Yu Coiling Tiger wouldn't give it no matter what. Of course, he was probably willing to give it now. Lin planned to give him a call. You wait. I'll get one from Yu Coiling Tiger. Okay, this time Yu Coiling Tiger will definitely give it to you. Han Jingjing also said with a smile. Lin dialed Yu Coiling Tiger's phone number. Yu Coiling Tiger hadn't contacted Lin for a while, and he had almost forgotten about it. Lin was gone, Han Jingjing was gone, and he had regained his peace in the class. Just when he thought that Lin had disappeared and would never cross paths with him again, Lin actually called, which made him slightly surprised. Boss Lin, why are you looking for me? Yu Coiling Tiger carefully picked up the phone and asked. 2 things. One is to hide the right family and join the Cultivator Alliance Association that I founded. In the future, you will be under the control and jurisdiction of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. The second is to get me a third-grade medicine cauldron. Is there a problem? Lin said directly. Chapter 3475. Sure, I'll give you half an hour, Lin said. Half an hour, okay. Although Right Coiling Tiger had no other choice, he still nodded in agreement. House Yu was quite well informed. Previously, Lin had been searching for materials to refine the Qi gathering pill in the ancient level, and the ancient level didn't dare to voice out their anger. Therefore, how could Right Coiling Tiger dare to challenge Lin? Therefore, after hanging up Lin Yi's call, Right Coiling Tiger found Right Jintian to discuss a countermeasure. The two of them said that they were discussing a countermeasure, but in fact, there was no countermeasure at all. They talked about Lin Yi's recent awesome deeds in the ancient level, and then Right Coiling Tiger said, Uncle, Lin Yi is very awesome now. We can't afford to offend him. You see, the ancient level doesn't dare to voice out their anger. Yes, I think so too. Then, it's not shameful for us to hide in the House Yu and join Lin Yi's Cultivator Alliance Association. Moreover, we can be protected in the future. I think it's a good thing. Right Jintian said after a moment of silence. Yes. Then, should we agree to him? Right Coiling Tiger asked. Agreeing to him is a good thing. Why wouldn't we agree? Right Jintian said. Other families don't even have the chance to join. Right Jintian directly turned a bad thing into a good thing. This was a change of mentality, and it was actually a helpless decision. In fact, even if Lin asked Kang Ming for it now, he probably wouldn't dare to refuse. However, this guy was stalling him, so there was really nothing he could do. Moreover, Lin didn't want to fall out with the Xiantian ancestor right now. Although he could threaten to not let these inheritors participate in the inheritance plan. However, what if the Xiantian ancestor gave up? If he really didn't start this plan, then Lin Yi would really be screwed. If he didn't go to Sky State Island and couldn't find Zhang Liju, what would happen to Yoshioka and Armadillo? Therefore, Lin Yi had no choice but to maintain this somewhat mysterious relationship with Patriarch Xiantian. He couldn't make things too tense. Soon, Yu Panhu delivered the third-grade medicine cauldron. Although this thing was very precious, the Yu family had more than one. In the past, they didn't give it to them because they were afraid that the Heavenly Elixir sect would criticize them. But now, would the Heavenly Elixir sect dare to say anything? If the Heavenly Elixir sect had the ability, they could go and reason with Lin Yi, but they didn't have the guts to do so. The cauldron was brought over. Right Coiling Tiger saw Han Jingjing and Lin Yi again. He couldn't help but sigh. Boss Lin Yi, so you've already taken Han Jingjing down. You're living together shamelessly. I was wondering why I hadn't seen you for a while. Lin Yi was a bit taken aback. Since when did he live with Han Jingjing? However, since Yupanhu said so, he didn't deny it. He nodded and said, "Then don't harass her in the future. Otherwise, you know the consequences." Haha, that's for sure. A graceful lady is a gentleman's desire. She didn't belong to anyone before, but now that I have her, of course, I can't chase after her any more. Right Coiling Tiger touched his bald head and laughed. Boss Linny. Then I'll join your association. You can protect our Yu family in the future. We'll do things for you, but don't let others cause trouble for us. Of course. Linny nodded. When you join, you'll also be protected. You know about the Song family and the Hidden Tang family, right? So many masters went, and they were all Sky State masters. They were equivalent to great perfection, but they all died. Yes, yes. That's what our Yu family wants. Right Coiling Tiger nodded. If there's nothing else, I'll leave first. You guys have fun refining pills. After Right Coiling Tiger left, Lin Yi saw Han Jingjing studying the medicinal cauldron, so he asked, "How is it? Can you refine a third-grade medicinal pill? With Brother Lin Yi's current strength level, it shouldn't be a problem for Jing Jing to help. However, after all, it's two people transferring qi together. Jing Jing is afraid that there will be problems. The materials for the qi-gathering pill are limited, and they are very expensive. If they are wasted, Jing Jing will be distressed," Han Jingjing said. Jing Jing is thinking if she can transform this third-grade medicinal cauldron into a third-grade automatic medicinal cauldron. Then, Brother Lin Yi can inject qi himself, and you can refine the third-grade qi-gathering pill. Jing Jing doesn't need to participate. Oh? Lin Yi's eyes lit up after hearing it. It was indeed so. If Han Jingjing transformed the medicinal cauldron, then with Lin Yi's strength level, he could continuously condense the alchemy fire and automatically change the fire and temperature through the medicinal cauldron. Then, Lin Yi could completely refine pills. The drawbacks from before, because of Han Jingjing's first-grade and second-grade automatic medicinal cauldrons, were completely gone. That's a good idea. Will it be troublesome to modify it? Lin Yi asked. It's not troublesome at all, Han Jingjing said. The theory is actually the same. The only troublesome part is the substitution of materials and the writing of the firmware. But if it's just using a third-grade cauldron to modify and not looking for materials to substitute, then it's very easy. After all, Jing Jing has already made some of the formulas for third-grade medicinal pills. She just needs to write it into the firmware. All right. Lin Yi couldn't help but praise Han Jingjing's cleverness. If that was the case, then he could really mass-produce qi-gathering pills. Right, Lin Yi bro, can that godly pesticide cauldron of yours be repaired? If it can be repaired, then we can use that to modify it. In Master Zhang Liju's notes, there are large amounts of 4th grade, 5th grade, and even higher grade recipes. I'm thinking that we might need to make 4th grade and 5th grade medicinal pills in the future, so why don't we use it all at once and modify it with the cauldron? That way, we can use it all the time, Han Jingjing said. Repairing Shinong Cauldron. Lin Yi suddenly remembered the incomplete book he got from Hidden House Han. Before, Lin Yi wasn't a blacksmith yet, so he didn't think much of it and put it away. Now that he thought about it, he should be able to repair Shinong Cauldron. With that thought, Lin Yi quickly took out the book and flipped through it. As expected, there was a chapter on repairing cauldrons. Lin Yi bro, what book is this? It looks quite old. Han Jingjing was surprised. A book on repairing, there's a chapter on repairing cauldrons. Let me see if I can repair it, Lin Yi said. All right. Han Jingjing nodded. Then I'll write the firmware to modify the cauldron first. Lin Yi bro, go and repair it. If you really can repair it, then we'll use Shinong Cauldron to make it. I'll give this third-grade cauldron to Jing for research. Chapter 3476. If he wanted to repair a weapon, there were many conditions. First of all, divine weapons, including the medicinal cauldron, which also belonged to the ranks of divine weapons, were all things with spirituality. When forging, it required a large amount of true qi, and when repairing it, it also required the same. Otherwise, the requirements for the environment were also very harsh. It had to be repaired in a place with abundant heaven and earth spirit energy, otherwise it was very likely that the repair would fail. Alchemy was actually the same, but alchemy required a medicinal cauldron, which could be poured into the medicinal cauldron and gathered together. But weapons could not be placed in a medicinal cauldron, because weapons had different shapes and sizes, long and short, and it was impossible to make a unified forging container. Of course, a place with abundant heaven and earth spirit energy might be very difficult for others to find, but for Lin Yi, who had a cultivation artifact like the jade pendant, it was not a problem. He only needed to take the medicinal cauldron into the space of the jade pendant to forge and repair it. Lin Yi continued to look at the second condition, which was to repair the medicinal cauldron. One had to be a cultivator of heaven stage or above. The higher the level of the medicinal cauldron, the higher the corresponding level of the cultivator. Of course, this was not absolute. The surrounding environment would affect this factor. For example, if a perfected weapon tinker of late-stage peak heaven stage were to repair a first-grade cauldron, then he would be able to repair it in an ordinary environment. His physical strength, true qi, and strength had already made up for the lack of environment. And an early-stage heaven stage expert could also repair a second-grade medicinal cauldron in a situation where the spirit energy was very abundant. This was because the environment had made up for his own shortcomings. Seeing this, Lin Yi was suddenly happy. Originally, he thought that the divine armament cauldron was an ancient artifact. In Lin Yi's opinion, it should be at least a heavenly Tao expert, right? However, he did not expect that the great perfection master would have this advantage, which was that the surrounding environment could supplement one's strength. Then, the heaven and earth spirit energy in the space of the jade pendant should be endless and abundant. In other words, no matter how high the grade of the medicinal cauldron Lin Yi wanted to repair, as long as it was in this environment, he could succeed. Of course, this rule was only limited to the repair of the medicinal cauldron. To repair other things, there were naturally other conditions for other things, which were not exactly the same. Then, Lin Yi continued to look at the following conditions. In order to repair a medicine cauldron, one must have dark steel, fine steel, and blue crystal powder. It seemed that these three things had become the most basic materials for refining and mending tools. However, Lin Yi currently had all three items with him. He still had some left, so he could use them. The rest. It was a mantra to condense the forging fire. However, the mantra was extremely complicated, causing Lin Yi to feel a little dizzy. However, according to Lin Yi's past experience, he could already condense the smithing fire using the method of refining the jade pendant space. Because of the success of the profound chi necklace before, Lin Yi didn't need to study that extremely complicated mantra. As long as the final goal was the same, it was fine. Lin Yi said to Han Jingjing, who was typing away on her laptop. Jingjing, I can roughly repair it. Protect me and don't disturb me. I'll calm down and repair it. And brother Lin Yi, you repair it. Jingjing is also busy here. I guess we'll be busy together, Han Jingjing said. Lin Yi nodded, sat cross-legged on the bed, and then entered the jade pendant space. Because his real body was still outside, there didn't seem to be anything strange from the outside. After entering the jade pendant space, Lin Yi suddenly found that the medicine cauldron was placed in the condensed space in the jade pendant space, while he was in the space with Jiao Yazi and the ghost. The two spaces existed independently, and were not connected. This made Lin Yi a little confused. It seemed that the Shinong cauldron couldn't be brought here, right? This discovery gave Lin Yi a headache. It was completely different from what he had imagined before, so Lin Yi couldn't help but ask. Jiao Lao, I want to ask, can I bring the thing in the space condensed by my jade pendant over? No, Jiao Yazi answered. Lin Yi completely gave up. What's the use if I can't bring it over? But your spirit can go over. Jiao Yazi's words made Lin Yi ecstatic. Your real body can't go in, but your spirit can. Then, how can my spirit go in? Lin Yi couldn't help but ask. It's simple, Elder Jiao said. All you need to do is use your will. Just think about your nascent spirit and go over there. Lin Yi moved his mind slightly. Sure enough, Lin Yi's spirit entered the space next to him. Lin Yi found the broken Shinong cauldron behind the mountain of energy stones. He sat down cross-legged and prepared the materials. He started to repair the Shinong cauldron according to the method on the incomplete weapon mending technique. Time passed quickly. Because he had the experience of condensing the space in the jade pendant and the essence necklace, Lin Yi was very familiar with the repair process this time. In addition, there was endless heaven and earth spiritual qi in the space in the jade pendant, so the repair process was very smooth. Lin Yi was extremely excited. Previously, he could only look at the Shinong cauldron, but he couldn't use it. Moreover, he had missed the Shinong cauldron in the ancient tomb. This made Lin Yi feel very helpless. But now everything was different. Lin Yi could easily repair the Shinong cauldron, which made up for Lin Yi's previous shortcomings. Of course, this was also thanks to Right Coiling Tiger. If he hadn't given him such a broken Shinong cauldron, he really wouldn't have the chance to repair it. It wasn't until dawn that Lin Yi finished repairing the Shinong cauldron. The process was tortuous, but it was still smooth. The small problems that occurred were also within a controllable range. Jingjing, the Shinong cauldron is repaired. Take a look. Lin Yi came out of the space in the jade pendant and brought the Shinong cauldron out. Oh? Repaired? Han Jingjing raised her head from the code and looked at Lin Yi. Big brother Lin Yi, you're really amazing. You can repair the medicine cauldron without moving. Are you an automatic repair machine? Hee hee, I put the medicine cauldron on me. I repaired it using a special method. I'll tell you slowly when I have time. The method Lin Yi used to repair the medicine cauldron in the space in the jade pendant was too complicated. Lin Yi couldn't explain it in a short time, so he decided to tell Han Jingjing later. Chapter 3477. It had to be said that Han Jingjing was a little genius. Such a complicated transformation of the Shinong cauldron only took 2 days to complete. Of course, this was also because of the previous experience of making first-grade and second-grade automatic medicinal cauldrons. Moreover, Han Jingjing also added an energy replenishment function to this Shinong automatic medicinal cauldron. An external energy stone box was used to absorb the energy from the energy stones, in case Lin Yi's physical strength and qi were insufficient and the refining failed. Big brother Lin Yi, Jingjing is done. Take a look. Han Jingjing handed the modified Shinong automatic medicinal cauldron to Lin Yi. After the transformation, the Shinong automatic medicinal cauldron was divided into 2 parts. The main body was the Shinong cauldron, and next to it, there was an electronic device. On the top was a touchable display similar to a tablet computer, and below was a place to place the energy stones. This thing looks like a combination of modern and ancient technology. Lin Yi sighed. Yes, the Shinong cauldron is temporarily irreplaceable. If a substitute material is found, then it can be remade, and the appearance will also look more beautiful and natural, but now it is neither fish nor fowl, Han Jingjing said. That doesn't matter. Whether it looks good or not, as long as it can be refined into medicinal pills. Lin Yi waved his hand and said, This thing is used, not to look at. Hee hee, Big brother Lin Yi is comforting Jingjing. Han Jingjing smiled and said, Big brother Lin Yi, rest assured. In the future, Jingjing will help you transform it into a more powerful one. With Jingjing's current level, this is all I can do. Big brother Lin Yi can start refining pills. Jingjing, you say it. I now have a total of 15 sets of refining materials for the qi gathering pill. I should divide them into several batches to refine. This is the best refining method to produce the most qi gathering pills. Lin Yi knew that Han Jingjing's medicinal cauldron could generally have a refining bonus. There were also cases of refining 3 pills from 2. Hee hee, Big brother Lin Yi will know if you try it? Han Jingjing smiled and said, Try it? Lin Yi was slightly surprised. But since Han Jingjing said so, Lin Yi believed her and calmed his emotions down. He suppressed all kinds of distracting thoughts. After sitting cross-legged for a moment, and adjusting his body's condition to its peak, he was ready to start refining pills. Lin Yi pressed the start button of the Shenong automatic medicine cauldron. Suddenly, a welcome screen appeared. It was Han Jingjing's smile. There was a line of text below. The intelligent alchemy system Jingjing built for Lin Yi Gij. Seeing this welcome interface, Lin Yi could not help but smile bitterly. Han Jingjing was really interesting. Make this thing. Then, a few options appeared on the screen. 1. Concoction of known elixir, automatic analysis of unknown elixir recipe, satellite network online update. Looking at the three options, Lin Yi couldn't help but be a little surprised. This medicinal cauldron not only seemed to be able to refine known medicinal pills, but also unknown medicinal pills. However, Lin Yi did not have any unknown medicinal pills for the time being, so he clicked on the first option, concoction of known elixir. After entering, there were a number of options such as first-grade medicinal pills, second-grade medicinal pills, third-grade medicinal pills, and so on. Lin Yi directly chose third-grade medicinal pills and found the qi-gathering pill in the subdirectory. After clicking on it, a line of text appeared on the screen. Please wait a moment. Jingjing is currently generating the script for refining the qi-gathering pill for Big Brother Lin Yi. After Jingjing's calculation, every time you put in 5 sets of refining materials, you will get the greatest benefit. Looking at the line of text above, Lin Yi was instantly stunned. Han Jingjing was right. She told him to try it, and he would know. Sure enough, he knew. Thus, Lin Yi followed the instructions above and put in 5 sets of materials for the qi-gathering pill, then pressed the confirm button. Beep beep. The tablet emitted 2 crisp beeps. Lin Yi looked up and saw the tablet display. Concoction script has been generated. According to the automatic analysis of the weight in the medicinal cauldron, 5 sets of materials will be put in. Estimated time of refining is 3 hours and 24 minutes. Please accumulate your strength and vital energy in advance. Estimated number of medicinal pills produced is 7. It was only a little more than 3 hours of refining, which was not considered long. However, when he saw the number of medicinal pills produced, Lin Yi could not help but be slightly stunned. He could actually refine 7 qi-gathering pills. However, this was only because of Han Jingjing. If it were anyone else, they could only refine 1 pill at a time. If they succeeded, then they succeeded. If they failed, then they failed. But Lin Yi was doing it in batches. Even the scraps could be combined into a new medicinal pill. Naturally, the efficiency was very high. After hearing the beep, please inject pure vital energy into the medicinal cauldron. The medicinal cauldron will automatically adjust the intensity of the fire, the temperature, and the attribute of the fire. So he only needed to infuse true qi into it? Lin Yi could not help but be slightly stunned. Didn't that mean that this medicinal cauldron could be used without the need of an alchemist? Thinking of this, Lin Yi turned to look at Han Jingjing, who was beside him, with some doubts. Han Jingjing seemed to have seen through Lin Yi's doubts, so she said, Big Brother Lin Yi, actually, Jingjing has long mastered this technique. Previously, since the energy in the energy stone could be converted into alchemy fire, it was not difficult to convert the cultivator's vital energy into alchemy fire. However, once this technique appeared, alchemists would not be worth much. Without many restrictions, anyone could refine medicinal pills. Although it might cause the medicinal cauldron to sell well temporarily, in the future, I'm afraid this thing will depreciate. Secondly, every cultivator's vital energy is different. Jingjing can't analyze them one by one, but Jingjing knows Big Brother Lin Yi's vital energy. So, Big Brother Lin Yi doesn't have to worry. Other than Big Brother Lin Yi, only Jingjing can use this medicinal cauldron. No one else can. So that's how it is. Lin Yi nodded. This way, it saved a lot of trouble. Lin Yi completely let go of the worry in his heart. If he was not confident in alchemy fire, how could Lin Yi not be confident in his vital energy? He had helped others to level up several times. Lin Yi was still confident in his vital energy. Not only that, Lin Yi had the Jade Pendant Space, a killer weapon. He could directly use the art of dragon mastery to transfer the pure energy in the jade pendant space into the medicinal cauldron. This way, Lin Yi's body was like a conductor, purely playing the role of transmission. He did not need to waste his own vital energy. Of course, Han Jingjing did not know this. She still thought that Lin Yi also had times of exhaustion, so she set the energy stone's position. Chapter 3478. The medicine cauldron emitted a crisp hum, and the tablet next to it also showed the words, "Refining in progress, warming up." Next to it was a countdown timer. Then, the medicine cauldron began to heat up slowly. After the time it took to burn a stick of incense, it finally gradually entered the state of alchemy. Under Han Jingjing's genius modification, as long as the vital energy was continuously infused, the internal program would automatically adjust the intensity and temperature of the fire. The excess vital energy would be stored in the energy stones at the bottom of the medicine cauldron. If the vital energy was really exhausted when the alchemy was about to be completed, the medicine cauldron would detect that the vital energy was insufficient and automatically use the vital energy stored in the energy stones to replenish the vital energy. However, this wasn't very useful for Lin Yi, unless he was concocting a pill that was beyond his level, and he didn't have enough pure qi to supply and maintain the concoction. Only then would he use the energy stones to make up for it. From this point of view, Han Jingjing's design was still useful. The medicinal herbs in the medicine cauldron began to change little by little under the control of the alchemy fire produced by the vital qi. This process was slow and gentle. If it was an ordinary person, they would not be able to notice it at all. However, alchemists enjoyed this process the most. However, Lin Yi could not enjoy it. He did not know what was going on in the medicine cauldron. He was looking at the tablet next to it. As time passed, Lin Yi only needed to input pure vital qi. He did not need to think about anything else. On the screen, the countdown timer was slowly ticking. Finally, with the last crisp hum, the alchemy was finally over. Phew! Although the whole alchemy process was calm and there were no accidents, Lin Yi was still very nervous. After all, this was the first time he had used Shenong's automatic medicine cauldron to refine a qi-gathering pill. That was 5 sets of ingredients. If he was blind, it would be too late for him to cry. After calming his mind and breathing a little more, Lin Yi stood up and opened the medicine cauldron in front of him. As soon as the lid was opened, a strong medicinal fragrance immediately spread throughout the jade space. Lin Yi only took a sniff and immediately felt refreshed, relaxed and happy. From the looks of it, it should be a success, right? Lin Yi looked into the medicine cauldron expectantly. Sure enough, there were 7 qi-gathering pills lying quietly inside, each one full and fragrant. Success. The quality of the qi-gathering pill was very high. It could be said that it was on par with the one he found in Zhang Liju's tomb. Lin Yi took one out and looked at it. It was indeed extraordinary. Jingjing, let's start taking it now. This thing. Although we don't have to eat it while it's hot, the earlier we take it, the faster our strength will increase. Lin Yi said to Han Jingjing. And let's eat it together. Han Jingjing also picked up a qi-gathering pill. Oh, that's right, Jingjing. It's best if we take it separately. When the qi-amassing pill breaks through, our clothes might explode, so it won't be convenient for us. Lin Yi suddenly thought of this serious problem. It's okay, Han Jingjing said indifferently. Jingjing belongs to Big Brother Lin Yi. It doesn't matter if I see it. Could it be that Big Brother Lin Yi is afraid of Jingjing looking? Ugh, that's not it. Lin Yi paused, but since Han Jingjing didn't care, Lin Yi didn't hesitate any longer. He closed the curtains and said to Han Jingjing, "If that's the case, why don't we take off our clothes? Otherwise, they'll explode too." Okay. Han Jingjing nodded. Very quickly, she took off all her clothes and sat on the bed cross-legged. She didn't feel like there was anything wrong with it at all. On the other hand, Lin Yi was tempted, but this was the time to take the qi-gathering pill. Lin Yi quickly abandoned these thoughts and took off his clothes as well, but there was still a natural physiological reaction, and it made Lin Yi feel very awkward. After Han Jingjing glanced at it, she didn't continue to look. It seemed that Han Jingjing's willpower was much stronger than Lin Yi's. Lin Yi really didn't know how Han Jingjing's brain worked. At this time, Han Jingjing had already stuffed the chi-gathering pill into her mouth, and Lin Yi smiled bitterly. He wasn't willing to fall behind and took the chi-gathering pill. Lin Yi had taken the chi-gathering pill before, so when taking the chi-gathering pill, it was a walk in the park. Lin Yi could still endure the pain. This kind of energy would skyrocket in an instant. As long as he clenched his teeth, he could endure it. Han Jingjing, on the other hand, looked like she was in pain, but she held on and didn't make a sound. It was just like when Lin Yi helped her increase her strength. Han Jingjing was a very strong girl. Time passed slowly. Han Jingjing successfully broke through to the early stage of Heaven stage, and what made Lin Yi a little regretful was that after taking this chi-gathering pill, he actually didn't break through to the peak of the late stage of Heaven stage. Instead, he was infinitely close to the Great Perfection realm, but there was still a gap. Although a little gap didn't affect Lin Yi much, and the current Lin Yi could instantly kill the experts of the Great Perfection realm of Heaven stage, his own strength level was still a little imperfect. Jingjing, you continue to take it. In theory, after you take 7 more chi-gathering pills, your strength should be equal to mine. You take it slowly, I will refine some more, Lin Yi said to Han Jingjing. Now there were only 5 left, and Han Jingjing still needed 2 more, so Lin Yi had to continue to refine pills. And then I'll have to trouble Big Brother Lin Yi. Han Jingjing nodded. What trouble do I have? If I didn't have your cauldron, it would be hard, but now alchemy is simply a piece of cake for me. Lin Yi smiled and said, This is the first time I realized that alchemy can be so easy. Han Jingjing was praised by Lin Yi, and she seemed very happy. Her little face blushed, and she suddenly said, Big Brother Lin Yi, hug! Lin Yi was slightly stunned, but he saw that in Han Jingjing's eyes, besides joy, there wasn't too complicated a color of desire, so he went over and hugged Han Jingjing. On the other hand, Lin Yi himself was quite uncomfortable, so he quickly put her down after hugging her, and then turned around, intending to concentrate on alchemy. Time slowly passed. Han Jingjing continued to take the chi-gathering pill, and Lin Yi continued to refine pills. When Han Jingjing took the last chi-gathering pill, she was already an expert of the late stage of Heaven stage. Although she was an expert who achieved it quickly, her strength was real. Chapter 3479. Lin Yi hesitated for a moment, but still took out 4 of them, 3 for Han Jingjing, and 1 for himself. Lin Yi planned to break through to the peak late phase of Heaven class in one go. Otherwise, Lin Yi's heart would always feel that it wasn't perfect. And for Han Jingjing, 3 pills would also be enough for her to smoothly break through to the peak of Heaven class. Lin Yi planned to bring Han Jingjing along to Heaven class island. Han Jingjing could become Lin Yi's most powerful helper. Because Lin Yi only took 1 pill, his breakthrough speed was faster than Han Jingjing's. This time, Lin Yi finally succeeded in breaking through to the peak late phase of Heaven class. Although, from Lin Yi's perspective, it wasn't much different from before, he still felt very satisfied in his heart. Once upon a time, this was Lin Yi's ultimate goal. The peak late phase of Heaven class was the realm that Lin Yi dreamed of, but now, it was easily achieved. Lin Yi didn't think that the final promotion would be so smooth. It could be said that these were the few levels that Lin Yi had the easiest to break through. Of course, if it was someone else, it might be the most difficult level to break through. But Lin Yi broke through easily, thanks to Kong Ming Ming and Right Coiling Tighter. Without them, there wouldn't be the current Lin Yi. And Han Jingjing also broke through to the peak late phase of Heaven class. At this point, Lin Yi still had 10 chi-gathering pills left. If these pills were given to Wang Xinyan, she should be able to break through smoothly. Because before the peak late phase of Earth class, she could rely on Lin Yi to help her level up. Wang Xinyan was very happy to see Lin Yi back, but after Lin Yi came back, he went to Han Jingjing's bedroom and stayed there for many days. There was no movement, and Wang Xinyan was finally a little worried. He asked Han Xiaoqiao when he was in school. He said that he didn't know the two never came out before, and so Sun Yan couldn't help but go to Han Jingjing's house to see if something was wrong with Lin Yi and Han Jingjing. Han Xiao Xiao, the bookworm, didn't know anything at all, so Sun Yan decided to take a look for herself. At this time, Lin Yi and Han Jingjing had just broken through. Han Jingjing also became a peak late-stage heaven rank expert, and was very excited. She couldn't help throwing herself into Lin Yi's embrace. "Big brother Lin Yi, you are so amazing!" Sun Yan, on the other hand, had just pushed the door open when she saw the scene in front of her, and how naked Lin Yi and Han Jingjing were. Sun Yan's face reddened at Han Jingjing's words. I didn't see anything. I'll go first," Sun Yan said to herself. Lin Yi wasn't someone like that. Why was he so obsessed after playing with Han Jingjing for so many days? This Han Jingjing, didn't she know that Lin Yi had other things to do? She kept pestering Lin Yi, saying that Lin Yi was amazing, but Lin Yi hadn't touched her even after living with her for so long. Was it because he was worried about Kang Mingming? But it couldn't be. Even if he was worried before, it wasn't a problem now. Why did Lin Yi go to Han Jingjing's place first? Why did he hug her at night and not do anything? Was it because she wasn't proactive enough? Or was it because she wasn't attractive enough? Sun Yan was in a dilemma. "Wait a minute, Sun Yan sis. You come too," Han Jingjing said seriously. "We're just missing you now." "Ah?" Sun Yan was in a dilemma when she heard Han Jingjing's words. She flinched a little. Han Jingjing wanted her to join? Wasn't that the three of them? Sun Yan couldn't understand. How did the pure and innocent Jingjing become like this? Did she learn bad things? I don't want to, you guys continue." Sun Yan stuttered and wanted to escape. "Wait a minute. Sun Yan sis, we're all done, we're just missing you," Han Jingjing said. "Although the process might be a little painful, it's also because you can be with Lin Yi bro forever. Don't you want to?" Sun Yan's face was as red as a tomato, and her breathing was uneven. She took Han Jingjing's words as a hint. "Sun Yan sis, come quickly. I'll be there if I grit my teeth," Han Jingjing called. Then, "Okay." Sun Yan was successfully bewitched by Han Jingjing. She closed the door and gritted her teeth. "I'll take off my clothes too?" "And?" Han Jingjing nodded and said. "Of course I have to take it off." "Then take it off." Sun Yan gritted her teeth and quickly took off her clothes. She thought that Lin Yi had seen her naked during the military training, so what was wrong with taking it off now? She already decided to give it to Lin Yi, so what was there to hesitate about? Lin Yi, on the other hand, was dumbfounded. He didn't expect Sun Yan to move so fast, but judging from her expression, she must have misunderstood something. Lin Yi didn't believe that Han Jingjing wouldn't be able to tell that this girl was doing it on purpose. "Sun Yan, put on your clothes first, your situation is different from Jingjing's," Lin Yi said helplessly. I. Sun Yan paused, and her face paled. So Lin Yi didn't like her after all. Why else could Han Jingjing do it but she couldn't? Sun Yan didn't care about her shyness anymore. She puffed up her chest and looked at Lin Yi. "If she can do it, so can I. Why can't I? She has the chant, so she's at Sky Class late phase peak, but you don't, so I can't do it for you. I'll have to wait until you have the chant as well before I can do it for you," Lin Yi explained. "Do it?" Sun Yan froze as she stared at Lin Yi and Han Jingjing. "You guys, are you trying to increase your strength?" "Yeah, what else do you think we're doing, Sun Yan sis?" Han Jingjing said innocently. "Then, why do you need to take off your clothes to do it?" Sun Yan was confused. "It's very painful to level up after using the Qi gathering pill. You'll feel very hot, and your clothes will burn to ashes," Han Jingjing said. "To save clothes, we take them off." Sun Yan blushed as she subconsciously covered her chest. I. Why didn't you say so earlier?" Chapter 3480. "Stupid Jingjing, you're making fun of me!" Sun Yan reached out to hit Han Jingjing, only to expose herself again. She didn't care if she was exposed or not, and sat on the bed. Then are you all Sky Class Late Phase Peak Full Circle Masters now? Yes. Linny nodded. Sinyan, I'm preparing to raise you to Sky Class Late Phase Peak Perfection as well. Many things have happened recently. Let's put on our clothes first and talk? Linny felt a little awkward now. Just wear a shirt, it's not like you haven't seen it before. Sinyan didn't care anymore and didn't think too much. All right. Linny and Han Jingjing put on their clothes as well. They were at home anyway, so they didn't feel like outsiders. With that, Linny told Sinyan everything that happened recently, including Xiaoka and Armadillo, as well as the inheritors. You're saying that you're going to Sky Class Island with me and Jingjing? Sinyan asked, shocked. And Jingjing is my helper, and I want to bring her along. I'm worried about your body, so I want to keep you by my side. Plus, I'm used to having you by my side. Linny nodded solemnly. And Sinyan was happy that Linny said that. She was one of the most important people to him now. But after a while, she still asked, Then Li Shan, Sun Jingyi, and Shirhan, aren't you going to bring them? Ling Shan is the person in charge of the investigation department now. She'll be in charge of the Cultivators Association Alliance here. Jingyi's arts and strength are different from ours, and I can't help her improve, so she can't go. As for Shirhan, she's a celebrity, she has her own career. Linny said. Plus, it's not like we can't come back. It's over. We can come back, and we can also bring them over. Also, Wu Chentian's lackeys. I'm planning on bringing them over. Of course, the premise was, I can stand firm on Heaven Stage Island. Although Linny could summon the wind and summon the rain in the secular world and sweep through the ancient sects, that was all. Heaven Island was full of unknowns. The weakest should be at the peak of the late phase of the heaven rank. Even if Linny could fight those at a higher rank, he might not be able to handle them. Therefore, Linny did not speak too slowly because everything was still unknown. As a result, Linny didn't speak too confidently. Everything was still unknown. It was only then that Sinyan realized that the day was getting closer and closer. Was everything about to end? Or a new beginning? I believe you can do it, Sinyan said firmly. On the train, it was like a promise from their previous lives. Their first meeting was destined to be a lifelong love. Sinyan wasn't a sentimental person, but sometimes she had to believe in the wonders of fate. Bits and pieces of her memories with Linny flooded her mind, and the first time she stayed in the villa appeared in front of her eyes. Shu carried her and kidnapped her to the villa. From that moment on, she was destined to be inseparable from Linny, right? I'll ask Aunt Qing again and see if she has any ways to help you increase your strength. The Heaven Stage trial is right around the corner, and Heaven Stage Island is about to open. If you can't increase your strength, you won't have the right then, Linny said as he called Aunt Qing. You've been quite famous recently. Aunt Qing is in the Ice Palace, and I've heard a lot about you, Aunt Qing said with a smile on the other side of the phone. Aunt Qing, please don't make fun of me. You're a senior, you can say that you've watched me grow up step by step. Linny was a junior in front of Aunt Qing. He would never forget the help Aunt Qing had given him back then. What you said back then was true. A hero shouldn't be afraid of a weak background. I'm afraid that the one who's struggling the most right now is Bingtang. Is she going to do what she promised you? Aunt Qing didn't think much of Lin Yi and Bingtang's relationship before. After all, no matter how much she liked Lin Yi was just an outsider, and Bingtang was the one she watched grow up with. But ever since she knew that Lin Yi was that person's descendant, Aunt Qing's attitude towards Lin Yi changed, and she treated him as her closest junior. It's just a line from a song. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Aunt Qing, the rock candy thing was just a joke back then, and I didn't take it seriously. You can tell her that she doesn't need to worry about it. Lin Yi couldn't say that he didn't have any feelings for Bingtang. Conquering this kind of cold girl would give him a psychological satisfaction, but since she wasn't willing, Lin Yi couldn't force her. Besides, Lin Yi's mind was now on Heaven Stage Island, and he had temporarily put aside his personal feelings. When the Heaven Stage Island's matters were over, and he had nothing else to worry about. That was the time to talk about love. Linny was still young, and he had a lot of time. Plus, his girlfriends were all heaven stage masters, and their looks were forever preserved, and their lives were infinitely extended. The endless years ahead were the time for him to enjoy. Our ice palace is a place that keeps its promises. If we say something, we must do it, especially as the palace master. We can't go back on our words. Aunt Qing paused and said, "Let's not talk about this. Lily, why did you call this time?" "It's still about the thing I told you about my friend, Wang Xinyan." "Have you found her practitioner's arts yet?" Linny asked. "I did, but I haven't gotten it yet," Aunt Qing said. "That practitioner's scripture is kept in the Ice Palace's treasury, and only Bingtang can open it right now. There's no one else who can." In the Ice Palace, Bingtang's words were absolute, unlike the other ancient sects where the Grand Elder was above everyone else. The Ice Palace was different, so Lin Yi could understand why Aunt Qing said this. "Then, didn't you tell Bingtang?" Lin Yi asked. Chapter 3481. "Oh?" Lin Yi thought of something abruptly. "Yes, the Ice Heart Pill." This was a level 3 pill that Lin Yi couldn't make before, but now Lin Yi could do it easily. Lin Yi knew what to trade for the sugar. "All right, I'll go there in 2 days." "Okay, Aunt Qing will wait for you." Aunt Qing nodded. After hanging up, Lin Yi told Xinyan and Han Jingjing he planned on going to the Ice Palace after the pill was made. Xinyan and Han Jingjing, naturally, were very supportive. Lin Yi kept his word he was going to start making the pill right now. Lin Yi had 4 portions of the ingredients for the Ice Heart Pill, all given to him by Right Coiling Tiger. He gave Lin Yi 12 portions of ingredients for a level 3 pill, 4 portions of Grand Recovery pills, 4 portions of Ice Heart pills, and 4 portions of Qi Gathering pills. The materials for the Qi Gathering pill had already been used by Lin Yi, and all that was left was the Grand Recovery pill and the Ice Heart pill. Lin Yi planned on making them all in one go. The Grand Recovery pill was very useful as well. It wasn't very useful to Lin Yi, but it was something that could save Han Jingjing and Xinyan's lives. With the experience from last time, Lin Yi was very familiar with the process this time. Lin Yi followed the instructions and put in 4 portions of the Ice Heart Jade Bone Pill's ingredients before pressing the confirm button. Beep beep. The tablet emitted 2 long and clear beeps, and then the tablet displayed, "Alchemy script has been generated. According to the automatic analysis of the weight in the medicine cauldron, 4 sets of ingredients have been put into this alchemy. The estimated time of alchemy is 2 hours and 52 minutes. Estimated number of pills produced is 5. Less than 3 hours wasn't a long time, but the number of pills produced on the cauldron disappointed Lin Yi a little. There were only 5 pills. He'd used 5 portions of Qi Gathering pills before, and he'd made 7 of them. Of course, the conditions of each pill were different, so the results of refining were also different. This was already better than the others, so Lin Yi only felt disappointed for a moment, and then he began to refine the pills. Lin Yi cleared his mind of distracting thoughts and sat cross-legged, circulating the art of dragon mastery. He quickly followed the instructions and infused the Jinqi in his body into the godly armament cauldron. The cauldron let out a crisp hum, and the tablet beside it also showed the words starting refinement, warming up. Beside it was a countdown timer. Unsurprisingly, with the last clear buzzing sound, the alchemy was finally over. As soon as the lid of the cauldron was opened, a rich medicinal fragrance along with a wave of cold air rushed out. Although it was hot air, it caused people to involuntarily shiver. This should be the special effect of the Ice Heart Jade Bone Pill. It was truly an incomparably cold pill. Except for people with special constitutions, ordinary people really didn't have the luck to enjoy it. When the cold air dissipated, Lin Yi looked into the cauldron and saw that there were indeed 5 Ice Heart Jade Bone Pills inside, and the quality was the same as the previous Qi Gathering pills. All of them were of the highest quality. Of course, 5 was already a lot. Previously, Rock Candy only asked for 1. After the successful refinement, Lin Yi didn't stop. Instead, he continued to prepare to refine the Great Recover pill. Similarly, he put in 4 portions of ingredients for the Great Recover pill, but what Lin Yi didn't expect was that the estimated number of pills produced on the screen was actually 6. There were also 4 portions, but there were 5 Ice Heart Jade Bone pills and 6 Great Recover pills. It was really a little magical. But think about it. These pill recipes might not be accurate when they were first made. They were all based on the alchemist's repeated experiments. Some recipes might have a little more than 1 portion, and some might have a little less than 1. There was no difference if it was just 1 pill, but the difference would be obvious if they were made together. It was the same process as before, and after 3 hours of refinement, the Great Recover pill came out. This was Lin Yi's 3rd official refinement, and he didn't expect it to be this easy. It was all thanks to Han Jingjing's automatic alchemy cauldron. What kind of high-end thing is this? Why is it so advanced? Sun Yan couldn't help but ask after Lin Yi was done. This is Han Jingjing's invention, the automatic alchemy cauldron. It's very easy to make pills intelligently, Lin Yi explained. Actually, other than leveling up, Jingjing and I have been studying pill refinement. I see. Sun Yan's face was a little red. She was a little embarrassed for her impure thoughts. Lin Yi was here for serious business. He wasn't here for a secret affair with Han Jingjing like she was imagining. It wasn't right of her to think like that. She shouldn't make wild guesses in the future. Alright, since the pill is done, I'll be heading to the Ice Palace now. Lin Yi didn't want to waste time. Since the 5 Elements sect had sent out a notice for everyone to sign up, it meant that the Sky class test was right around the corner. Who knew when they'd gather everyone? Okay, Lin Yi bro, be careful, Han Jingjing said. Lin Yi, you can stay for a few more days. You haven't seen Xiao Xiao in a while, Sun Yan said. She wasn't familiar with Xiao Xiao, and didn't even know her. Meng Yao and Yushu told her everything about Xiao Xiao, but she knew about the relationship between Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao. Okay, it's fine. We'll see each other after the test starts. Lin Yi didn't really mind. If he stayed for a few more days, the test would start right away, and Sun Yan wouldn't be able to qualify. This time, Lin Yi chose to ride the purple thunderbolt beast to the Ice Palace. One night, Lin Yi arrived at Snowfrost Town. Since Lin Yi had just been here a while ago, he wasn't that impressed by the scenery. But Lin Yi was still a Sky class mid-phase back then, and now he was a Sky class full mastery. The difference between now and now was really impressive. Thank you Coiling Tiger Right, thank you Kong Ming Ming, thank you Elder Xianxian, Ice Spirit Inn. Lin Yi walked into the lobby of the inn, smiling as he greeted Shopkeeper Li, who was arranging letters. Shopkeeper Li, we meet again. Master Lin Yi, you're here. Manager Li paused, not expecting Lin Yi to visit the Ice Palace again in such a short amount of time. Yeah, looks like you're not surprised this time. Lin Yi smiled. Chapter 3482. He could tell that Lin Yi was quite easygoing with the people from the Ice Palace. He wasn't as nervous as before. It's nothing, I'm here to find your Ice Palace girl, Rock Candy. I want to marry her. Lin Yi asked. Huh! Shopkeeper Li was stunned. What? Marry that Rock Candy chick? Shopkeeper Li didn't know what to say. Did Lin Yi and Rock Candy still have an engagement? At his level, he obviously didn't know the inside story, but Elder Li didn't dare to ask. He could only say carefully, Hero Lin that. I'll tell the Ice Palace Master the truth, what do you mean? Lin Yi nodded. Although he was joking, he really wanted to kill Rock Candy's pride. With that in mind, Lin Yi turned to Shopkeeper Li and said faintly, Not bad, just tell her that. Okay. Shopkeeper Li nodded helplessly. He didn't have the right to argue with Lin Yi, so he could only follow Lin Yi's words and tell the truth. Anyway, even if Rock Candy blamed him, it would be Lin Yi's doing, it had nothing to do with him. Shopkeeper Li took out the satellite phone from the drawer and picked it up. Very quickly, Rock Candy's voice came from the other side. Shopkeeper Li, what's the matter? Palace Master, Hero Linny came to our ice spirit inn. He said, he's here to marry you, what do you think? Shopkeeper Lee asked carefully. Linny? Marry me? Rock Candy suddenly felt embarrassed. Last time, Linny didn't mention this. She thought that Linny would let it go, but she didn't expect that Linny would come to the Ice Palace just to talk about this. This made Bing-Tang a little indignant, but she remembered that she had promised Linny that when he had the strength of Heaven Stage Peak Late Stage or become a Mystic Stage First Level Alchemist, she would be his little mistress. Bing-Tang didn't know how to quibble. Ice Palace was a sect that kept its promises, but those were just Bing-Tang's words in anger. They didn't count. But now, Linny made a special trip here. What was she going to do about it? However, after hesitating for a moment, Rock Candy still said, What's his current strength? Are there any great perfection heaven rank peak late phase? This? I'm not sure either. Shopkeeper Lee blushed with shame. But, he was able to instantly kill a peak late stage heaven rank master, it should be true. That's not necessarily the case. Linny is an expert in fighting those who are stronger than him. I made a promise with him back then. When he has the strength of heaven rank peak late stage or becomes a mystic stage first level alchemist, I'll be his wife. Above heaven rank peak late stage, only great perfection or heavenly Tao level, are you asking him? Bing-Tang didn't believe that Linny was. Last time, Linny only had the strength of heaven rank middle phase. She was glad that she was smart. Fortunately, she had set a limit on his strength level and didn't say that he could fight against any experts. This? Shopkeeper Lee carefully looked at Linny. He didn't dare to offend Bing-Tang, but he didn't dare to offend Linny even more. This is really a trap. But Shopkeeper Lee didn't dare to have any complaints. He could only smile bitterly at Linny, wanting to say something but hesitating. It's about my strength, right? Linny's eyes and ears were sharp. He was a heaven-rank great perfection master after all. If he couldn't hear the conversation between Shopkeeper Lee and Bing-Tang, then he would be too weak. It's fine, I can verify it's true. As he said that, Linny started chanting and revealed his heaven-rank peak late-stage peak perfection strength. This powerful aura made Shopkeeper Lee's legs cramp. Although Linny didn't do anything to him, he still lowered his head subconsciously. He curled up and said to Bing-Tang with a trembling voice, Palace Master. Hero Lin, he really is a heaven-rank peak late-stage peak perfection master, what? Bing-Tang didn't believe that Linny could actually break through heaven-rank peak in such a short time. How many days had it been? But she knew that Shopkeeper Lee wouldn't lie to her. Shopkeeper Lee was an old member of Ice Palace. How could he be in cahoots with Linny? So Ice Palace hesitated. She was a little scared and retreated. Tell Linny that I'm not feeling well and can't go. Let him stay in the inn now. This? Shopkeeper Lee smiled bitterly, and raised his head to look at Linny. However, Linny took his phone. Let me say it. Linny didn't want to make things difficult for Shopkeeper Lee, so he picked up the phone personally. Bing-Tang girl, why aren't you coming? Are you going to act shamelessly? I'm not feeling well. How is it? Bing-Tang snorted. There are times when a cultivator is feeling unwell? Even a heaven-rank master can get sick? Linny asked curiously. Bing-Tang's face instantly turned red. Indeed, how could a heaven-rank master get sick? Her excuse was really. But Bing-Tang suddenly had an idea. She clenched her teeth and said to Linny angrily, Heaven-rank master, I'm also a girl. Can I feel unwell for a few days every month? Ugh, that's fine. Linny paused for a moment but teased. Alright then, I'm here to give you the Ice Heart Jade Bone Pill. I'll come and get it after your aunt leaves. If it takes too long, I'll go back first. I still have things to do. What? Ice Heart Jade Bone Pill. Bing-Tang was shocked and said anxiously. You successfully made it? But I'll be leaving first. You should rest well. It's better for a girl to rest well at this time, Linny said. Today is my last day. I'm almost done. Wait for me, I'll go over now. Bingtong's breathing quickened. She was really too excited. She had been looking forward to this pill for many years. But I'm only giving it to my little wife. Are you? Linny asked with a smile. I am. Bingtang clenched her teeth and said anxiously. Oh, all right then, I'll give it to you. I'll wait for you at the inn. We can consummate our marriage tonight. You've just finished, so you can't get pregnant, Linny said. You. Bingtang was so angry that she hung up. He immediately flew out of the training room and rushed down the mountain. Hee. Linny smiled and shook his head. He didn't mind at all and returned the satellite phone to shopkeeper Li. Hero Lin, is the Ice Palace Master coming? Then rest for a moment. Shopkeeper Li took the phone. Seeing that Linny had settled it himself, he let out a sigh of relief. At least he didn't have to be in the middle. Recommend Fishman's new book. Top grade cultivation master. Defending his father's name, protecting the goddess, an unusual path of cultivation. Shao family's playboy, Shao Qin, was abandoned by his family when his father was nowhere to be found. His fiancée became the mistress, and Shao Qin became his fiancée's manservant. The saddest thing was that not only did he not have a salary, but he also had to pay rent. But it didn't matter. Even a poor youth had his spring. Who asked him to become a cultivator? Missy inherited princess disease, specializes in male cultivators. Master Shao inherited traditional Chinese medicine, specializes in treating princess disease. Jean Bebe inherited rich bay, I'll play with you until you break down. Lin Ke inherited beef noodles, do you guys want it? Lu Junming, yes, check. Epsilon, inherited princess disease, why am I always the one who gets hurt, T_T. Chapter 3483. Alright, you don't have to care about me anymore. Linny waved his hand. Go do what you need to do. Then, Linny walked out of the passenger station and waited for Crystal Candy. Shopkeeper Li nodded and began to busy himself with his own matters. Linny didn't wait long before he saw Crystal Candy sprinting over. She didn't look like she was having her period at all, she was as agile as she could be. Crystal Candy saw Lin Yi's smile from afar and was a bit pissed. She glared at him and reached out her hand, saying fiercely, Where's my pill? You want to take it with just a promise? Lin Yi smiled faintly at Crystal Candy. What else do you want? I've been helping you take care of your girlfriend for so long. If it weren't for me, she'd be dead. Crystal Candy had thought of an excuse before she came, planning to use Xiao Xiao to convince Lin Yi. That's your sister, it's what you should do, Lin Yi said. Sister? She's my junior sister. At that point, Crystal Candy realized that Lin Yi was teasing her. Meaning that she was also Lin Yi's little Crystal Candy glared at Lin Yi. I'll do what I promise you. It's boring for me to be alone anyway, and I need to find a partner in the future. Xiao Xiao and I get along quite well, so you can take advantage of her when the time comes. But you know about the inheritor thing, I have to maintain my virginity, so… Virginity request? Who asked for it? Lin Yi felt that this request was a bit weird. Before, Lin Yi's strength was too low to ask this question, and he didn't dare to, but with Lin Yi's current strength, he had nothing to worry about. Of course it's the 5 Elements sect, Crystal Candy said. Elder Xianqin requested it. Him? If he doesn't maintain it, what will he do? Lin Yi said. Once upon a time, Patriarch Xianqin was in existence that Lin Yi looked up to, but now, even if Lin Yi stood in front of him, he would still maintain his composure. Patriarch Xianqin might not even be as powerful as him. If you don't maintain it… Rock Candy was slightly stunned. In the past, she had always listened to the 5 Elements sect. Even though she was so powerful, she had never questioned the things that everyone knew. It wasn't that he didn't want to question it. Instead, she felt that the Five Elements sect was the strongest existence in the world, and that even the Ice Palace's palace master would not be able to contend against it. Whatever the Five Elements sect said was the truth. But now, however, Lindy said that if he didn't maintain it, what would he do? Yes, if he didn't maintain it, what could Patriarch Xianqian do? In the past, no one dared to question it. But now, such a person had appeared. He looked at Lin Yi. Suddenly, Crystal Candy was a little dazed. This thin figure suddenly became tall and straight. Once upon a time, when he was in the Ice Palace and carried Xiao Xiao on his back, Crystal Candy had never put him in her eyes. Even the joke of the little mistress was just a joke. It was just a joke, but now, Crystal Candy suddenly realized that Lin Yi had become a part of the ancient level. The only existence that could contend against Patriarch Xianqian. Sometimes, one's impression of a person would change in an instant. It was the same for Bingtang now. She suddenly realized that Lin Yi wasn't that despicable after all. Instead, he was very heroic. This was the spirit a practitioner should have. In the past, everyone said so, and I heard that only by maintaining one's virginity can one open the heavenly island. Apart from that, there is no other way. Crystal Candy said. I told you the specifics before. I'm not sure either. Five Elements sect won't tell me. However, if you insist on having something with me before this, then you better not have anything with Xiao Xiao. After all, this is a big event in the ancient level. I don't want you to destroy this matter because of your selfish desires, although you have the strength to contend against Patriarch Xianqian. Huh! Lin Yi was slightly stunned. What did Crystal Candy mean? Actually, Crystal Candy was a little surprised when she said this because she realized that she didn't hate Lin Yi anymore. On the contrary, she was happy that she could find a partner like Lin Yi. Thinking about it carefully, Crystal Candy didn't know many male cultivators. They were either sect masters or young sect masters. However, these people were very scheming. Crystal Candy didn't like them either. On the contrary, she realized that Lin Yi wasn't that hateful along the way. Looking at the problem from another angle, she realized that fulfilling that promise wasn't that much of a conflict. However, to say that she fell in love with Lin Yi, Crystal Candy didn't think that she had it yet. She just didn't reject it, that was all. However, Crystal Candy's thoughts were very conservative. Wasn't the marriage in the ancient times a promise? The man and woman didn't know each other much? At least, she was quite satisfied with Lin Yi's current strength. Nothing, I'm just saying that if you want it, forget it if you don't. Crystal Candy said. Since Ice Palace has Xiao Xiao as an inheritor, she will get a fixed position as a sect master. The sect master or grand elder can participate in the Heavenly Island Conference. So, it doesn't matter if I'm an inheritor or not, oh? In other words, as long as there is an inheritor, the sect master or grand elder can participate in the Heavenly Island Conference. Lin Yi thought of something and asked. Yes, but there is a condition. It must be a master with the strength of the peak late stage of Heaven Realm. Crystal Candy said. I feel that I'm about to break through, oh. There is such a restriction. Lin Yi nodded after hearing it and said, Do you need me to help you refine a chi-gathering pill so that you can advance after eating it? Actually, what Lin Yi thought before was that if every inheritor's sect had a fixed quota for promotion, then wouldn't Boss Bai also have it? Boss Bai, as the other sect master of Five Elements sect, was definitely not strong enough, so he couldn't participate. However, if he passed the position of sect master to Yang Ming, then it would be fine. Therefore, there was still a loophole in this. If Yang Ming didn't have the entrance ticket of the map fragment, he could still find a way to participate. However, if Xianqian Ancestor added the restriction of being the sect master for more than a year, it wouldn't work. This guy was targeting Lin Yi, so Lin Yi couldn't do anything. Of course, Lin Yi could use force, but Lin Yi's purpose was to go to Heavenly Island. If they really broke up, it wouldn't be good for him to get in the way. You eat the chi-gathering pill? Crystal Candy was slightly stunned. She looked at Lin Yi and asked, I heard that you were searching for materials to refine the chi-gathering pill a while ago. So it was for this? Chapter 3484. And how else do you think I leveled up? A few days ago, I was still in the middle stage of Heaven's stage, and in just a few days, I'm at the peak of the late stage of Heaven's stage, great perfection. Linny didn't hide it, and said it directly. There was no need to hide anything. I remember telling you a long time ago that although you can keep leveling up by eating chi-gathering pills, you can eat them all the way to the peak of the late stage of Heaven rank. However, you won't be able to reach the true peak of Heaven rank by eating chi-gathering pills. Rock Candy said. These two great perfection have some essential differences. You may not be able to advance to Heaven Dao in your lifetime. You heard this too, right? Who said that taking chi-gathering pill can't advance to Heaven Dao? Moreover, when I was in Earth stage, I took chi-gathering pill and leveled up all the way. I also relied on myself to level up naturally without taking the pill. Didn't I also level up? Linny asked. Besides, who has broken through Heaven Dao? Who knows how to break through? Since no one knows, what's the point of rumors? Maybe even if we go to Heaven Rank Island, we won't be able to break through immediately. Heaven Rank Island is just a level higher than the ancient level. There might be people in the Tao of Heaven there, but even if we go there, we might not be able to break through smoothly. This? Rock Candy was speechless by Linny. Thinking about what Linny said, it was not unreasonable. Yes, Heaven Dao, no one has broken through. Taking chi-gathering pill can't break through, according to the normal logic, but Linny broke this logic again. Rock Candy didn't think that Linny was lying. After all, Linny wasn't a third-grade alchemist before. How could he have so many chi-gathering pills? He must have broken through naturally. That would break the curse of not being able to advance after taking chi-gathering pill. So, at this moment, she was a little moved. Although she had already touched the barrier of the Great Perfection realm, it was only a touch. If she wanted to break through, it would be impossible without a fortuitous encounter. Some people might be stuck here for a lifetime. With Lin Yi's situation as a reference, Rock Candy was silent along the way. After a while, she said, I'll take the Ice Heart Jade Bone pill first. If I successfully obtain the inheritance, then there won't be any obstacles for me to level up. I'll be able to break through on my own, alright. Linny didn't insist. After all, not everyone thought the same as him. It was difficult for Rock Candy to change her deep-rooted thoughts. Moreover, Linny had the space of the jade pendant, but Rock Candy didn't. If something really happened to Rock Candy, she wouldn't be able to level up. Then Linny would have committed a grave sin. Then, I'm going to take it. Rock Candy turned to look at Linny. Okay, here you go. Linny took out a box from his bosom and handed it to Rock Candy. Then, he said, It's here. You don't have to save it. If you don't comprehend the inheritance, just eat another one. Until you comprehend it. Ah? Rock Candy was slightly stunned. If you don't have one, you will eat another one? Do you think you have a lot of medicinal pills? Even if you are a level 3 alchemist, you can't say you have a 100% success rate, right? From what I know, the difficulty of refining the Ice Heart Jade pill is even higher than the chi-gathering pill. More or less. Linny thought. Not 100%, but 125%. With Han Jingjing's modified cauldron, Linny could refine the Ice Heart Jade pill with a 125% success rate. One set of ingredients would produce 125 portions. Ah? Rock Candy was a little surprised, but she didn't doubt it. You refined too? Then, I should leave one for the descendants of the Ice Palace. I shouldn't be so selfish. I am the Palace Master of the Ice Palace. I have to do something for the Ice Palace. The future Palace Master might need it too. Take a look first. Linny pointed at the box and said, Oh? Rock Candy opened the small box in her hands and was instantly stunned. Inside the box, there were 5 Ice Heart Jade pills. Not only that. This Ice Heart Jade Bone pill was also a high-quality pill. On the surface of each pill, there were actually circles of pill halo. Rock Candy was the palace master of the Ice Palace. She was very knowledgeable and naturally knew what this meant. Even if it was the same type of medicinal pill, there was a world of difference between those with pill halo and those without pill halo. Pill halo meant that it was the best of this kind of Dan. Its effect was far from what ordinary goods could compare to. This was a rare item that could only be encountered by chance. Even the most powerful alchemist could not guarantee that every Dan could be refined into a pill halo. But Lenny did it. Every single one of these 5 elixirs were of the same quality. They were all of the highest quality. This made Rock Candy look at the medicinal pills in her hands in shock. After a while, she raised her head and looked at Lenny in shock. Your alchemy level is so high? You can actually refine 5 of them. You have so many ingredients for the Ice Heart Jade pill? And the Hidden You family gave me 4 portions. I collected one myself. Lenny didn't tell the truth. After all, Rock Candy only said that she would be his little wife. She didn't take it for real. Lenny still couldn't open his heart to her. 5 portions. Can you really achieve a 100% success rate? Your alchemy level has already surpassed the 3rd level? Rock Candy's eyes widened. Her face flushed red. You can have really reached the 1st level of the mystic class? I haven't tested it yet. Who knows? Lenny shrugged. However, with Han Jingjing's cauldron, refining higher-level medicinal pills shouldn't be a problem. All right, you've met my requirements. I agree to what I said before. I mean it. Rock Candy sighed and said lightly. Let's take it one step at a time. I didn't want to force you. I just saw that you're too arrogant, so I was joking with you. Lenny smiled. All right, go take it. Right, does the Ice Palace still have the ingredients for the Ice Heart Jade pill? Since you feel that you should leave some for your descendants, I'll refine them all for you. Yes, it's in the Ice Palace's treasury. I'll take you there. You can make it yourself. There should be enough for 3 to 4 portions. Rock Candy said. That's great. I still have some that I collected myself. They aren't complete. Let's see if I can make a few more portions. Lenny was afraid that there would be a few more pills after he finished refining, so he said that he still had a few portions of incomplete ingredients. This way, Rock Candy wouldn't suspect anything. However, he was afraid that Rock Candy would ask him what the remaining ingredients were missing. Thus, Lenny didn't wait for her to speak and said, You're letting me into the treasury? Isn't it only the master of the Ice Palace who can enter? Chapter 3485. However, she was the only one who knew what her true thoughts were. Haha, alright, I'll concoct the pill inside and see what else the Ice Palace has. Lenny didn't think that Bingtang would ask him to go to the treasury without him even asking to see the manual. Wasn't this change a little too big? Go ahead. In Bingtang's heart, nothing was more important than the Ice Heart Jade Bone pill. Since Lenny wanted to concoct a few more for the Ice Palace, then the Ice Palace would pay any price. Lenny smiled bitterly. Things were going too smoothly, and he felt like there was no challenge. The two came to the entrance of the treasury, and Bingtang opened the door for Lenny to enter. She thought about it and said, I'll ask Xiao Xiao to come with you. I'm going to take the pill, okay? Lenny nodded. He did miss Xiao Xiao, but Bingtang didn't bring it up, so he didn't ask. Lenny found the ingredients for the Ice Heart Jade Bone pill in the treasury, and he could gather 4 portions. In other words, he could still make 5 pills. But Lenny didn't divide the ingredients, so finally he put 4 portions of ingredients into the cauldron. As expected, after pressing the confirm button, the tablet made 2 clear beeps, and Lenny saw the tablet display. Concoction script generated. Based on the weight of the cauldron, this concoction will take 6 portions of ingredients. Estimated concoction time is 3 hours and 29 minutes. Please prepare your qi beforehand. Estimated number of pills will be 6. 6 pills. 6 pills from 4. 6 portions to less than 5. This was pretty good, But Lin Yi realized that the quality and quantity of ingredients were different, and the concoction time was different as well. Lin Yi sat cross-legged and started concocting. Not long later, the door to the treasury opened. The door was opened, and Xie Xiao's excited voice sounded. Lin Yi, honey! Xiao Xiao, I'm refining pills. You can play by yourself for a while. Only Lin Yi could speak when he infused his true qi into the pill. If it were anyone else, they would have failed the alchemy. Ah! Xiao Xiao jumped in fright. He immediately shut up and stuck out his tongue. I'm sorry, I didn't know. It's okay, we can talk, Lin Yi said with a smile. Eh? What kind of cauldron is this? It's so advanced, and it even has an LCD? Xiao Xiao knew that Lin Yi wouldn't lie to her. However, when he saw the cauldron in Lin Yi's hand, he immediately felt that it was very magical. This is Han Jingjing's modified cauldron. Lin Yi told Xiao Xiao about Han Jingjing. So, the medicinal cauldrons you sell are all modified by her. Then she is really a powerful person. Xiao Xiao really wanted to meet her in the future. I really admire her, Xiao Xiao said from the bottom of her heart. She can be Lin Yi honey's helper, but Xiao Xiao can't. I really envy her. Xiao Xiao, don't say that. You have your mission. Your mission is to open the sky-class island. This is something you can't do without, Lin Yi said to her. I want to go to the sky-class island too. And I have to. Oh? Lin Yi honey, you want to ascend to Sky Dao too? Xiao Xiao was a little surprised. She knew that Lin Yi had a negative attitude towards this before. She didn't think that he would want to go today. Because I have my reasons. One is because of you. Of the 7 heirs, other than that elder Tang from Snowy Valley, I don't have much contact with them. The others are pretty much the closest people to me. How could I not go? Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Plus, I have other reasons. Ah? Xie Xiao's eyes widened. 7. 6. The rest is Tang Yun Sis. Xiao Xiao didn't say it. It seemed that Lin Yi didn't remember about Tang Yin yet. Naturally, she wouldn't say it out loud. Oh my God, Lin Yi honey, you're so amazing. You even took over the heirs. It's just a coincidence. Lin Yi said that, but he was a little doubtful. Was it really a coincidence? Lin Yi told Xiao Xiao about Yoshioka and Armadillo, as well as what happened to him recently. The elixir was also successfully refined. Once it was out of the cauldron, the aroma filled the air. 6 ice heart jade pills lay quietly in the cauldron. Oh my God, 6 pills at once? Xiao Xiao's eyes widened. She didn't know how to make pills, but she'd heard of it before. She'd never seen a refiner who could make Lu Mei's ice heart jade bone pill in one go. Yeah, this is all thanks to Han Jingjing. Lin Yi smiled. You can make pills with this cauldron. But you have to keep it a secret. Yeah. Xiao Xiao, of course, will keep it a secret. I'm not any worse than Shu. Xiao Xiao nodded. Lin Yi felt a little sad at the mention of Yushu. Everyone had left, but they'd meet again soon, right? Thinking of the reunion in the near future, Lin Yi's mood brightened up again. Lin Yi told her about Wang Xinyan, and naturally, Xiao Xiao was surprised by her physique. She started looking for manuals for Lin Yi as well. I remember that the manuals are all on that shelf. Senior Sister Rock Candy brought me here a couple of times, and I've looked for the arts here before. Xiao Xiao pointed at the last shelf. Oh, here. Lin Yi suddenly remembered when he got here. What was the name of this manual? There were so many manuals here, how was he supposed to know what the senior from the Ice Palace practiced? And so Lin Yi paused. Xiao Xiao, I forgot to ask Aunt Qing what it's called. Don't worry, I'll go ask for you. Xiao Xiao was about to leave the treasury when she heard the door creak. It was Crystal Candy, she'd come back. The appearance of the rock candy surprised Lin Yi. Did she finish eating it already? Lin Yi, on the other hand, wasn't doing any pill making. Instead, he was walking around with Xiao Xiao in front of the bookshelves, which surprised Rock Candy as well. Was Lin Yi done? Or hadn't he started? Lin Yi. You finished the pill? Rock Candy looked at Lin Yi surprised. Yeah, you finished too? Linny looked at Rock Candy, surprised. That fast? Yeah, that fast. I'm done. What about you? Rock Candy gently nodded, and then revealed her strength at the peak of the late peak of heaven rank, as if to prove her words, and then asked back. Chapter 3486. Part 1, Asking for Votes. Linny didn't think that Bing-Tang would break through in such a short time. This meant that she had successfully comprehended the inheritance, and she had touched the barrier of perfect mastery, so she broke through on her own as soon as the inheritance was completed. Bing-Tang, on the other hand, was even more shocked when she saw the 6 pills in Lin Yi's hands. She had wanted to show off to him how strong she was, breaking through to the same level as him in such a short time. She had caught up to him. But when she saw the 6 pills in Lin Yi's hands, Bing-Tang felt defeated. This Lin Yi was a monster. He made 6 pills in such a short time. What kind of speed was this? Wah wah wah! Senior Bing-Tang, Lin Yi honey, you guys are so in sync, huh? Don't tell me there's something going on. Xie Xiao's eyes widened. Yeah, if I come back from Sky Class Island, I'll have to thank Xiao Xiao Sis for taking care of me. Bing-Tang was a straightforward person, and although she blushed when she said it, she still said what she wanted to say. Oh. It can't be, right? Lin Yi honey, you've already taken Senior Bing-Tang's little sister? Xiao Xiao cried out excitedly. Senior Bing-Tang's little sister? What kind of title was that? Bing-Tang was speechless, but this was indeed a mess. Let's not talk about this, Lin Yi. How did you make pills so fast? You didn't do it on purpose, did you? You want me to worship you? Bing-Tang couldn't believe it. It was fine if the pill was fast, but the success rate was low. But Lin Yi was not only fast, but his success rate was also incomparably high. This was really strange. Senior Bing-Tang, Lin Yi honey doesn't need to lie to you. I saw him do it with my own eyes, and there's still heat and fragrance from the process. With that, Xiao Xiao pointed at the place where Lin Yi did it. Rock Candy was a heaven stage expert. How sharp was her sixth sense? She didn't notice it before. She was shocked by Lin Yi as soon as she entered the door, so she ignored these small details. Now that she carefully examined it, it was indeed so. Plus, she didn't think that Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao would lie to her about something like this. However, she still said, Lin Yi, I have some ingredients for the Great Recover Pill. Can you help me refine it too? Xiao Xiao and I, 2 girls, are going to participate in the Heaven Rank trial. It's so dangerous. What if something goes wrong? At that time, you will be the one who will feel sorry for him. Why don't you work a little harder and help me refine it? Are you testing me? Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Tell me, how many do you want to refine? I have 10 sets of materials. You just need to refine 8 pills for me. After Rock Candy finished speaking, she also felt that it was a little funny. If it was any other alchemist, being able to refine 5 pills was already very impressive. Lin Yi had made 8 pills, and that was already a small number. All right, I'll make 10 for you, Lin Yi said. Do you want to start now? Why don't you and Xiao Xiao wait for me outside? What? Xiao Xiao can watch you refine pills, and I'm affecting you. Rock Candy was a little unhappy. She accepted Lin Yi in her heart, so she treated Lin Yi as one of her own. And Lin Yi still had to be on guard against her. This made her very unhappy. After all, she thought it was him. Lin Yi was afraid that she would ambush him during the process, but how was that possible? Not to mention the fact that she and Lin Yi had this little mistress relationship. Even if they didn't, she wouldn't do something that ungrateful. No. Lin Yi didn't expect Rock Candy to have such a big reaction. He was silent for a while. Lin Yi looked at Rock Candy and asked, Are you serious? Then what do you think? Rock Candy stared at Lin Yi. If you don't believe me, then you can hug me. Rock Candy lived in the Ice Palace since she was young. In her heart, hugging a stranger was already a very intimate action. That's why she said that. Okay, let's be together, let's hug. Xiao Xiao shouted. Lin Yi didn't know what to say. But seeing Rock Candy close her eyes and stand there motionlessly, her eyelashes trembling, obviously nervous, Linny hesitated. Should he hug her or not? If he didn't, would Rock Candy be unhappy? Was she unhappy just now? With that thought, Linny walked over and hugged Rock Candy gently. Rock Candy's body softened and fell into Linny's arms, her breathing uneven. Evidently, she had never experienced something like this before. Maybe it was because she was aroused, but Rock Candy's body emitted a cold aura. Only someone like Linny, with his 5 elements and 7 elements, could handle it. Other people probably wouldn't be able to handle it. The more aroused she was, the colder it got. If they were in bed, wouldn't they be frozen into a popsicle? You're here? At that moment, Aunt Ching's voice came from the entrance of the vault. She had received news that Linny was here, but she had something to do at the time, so she asked Xiao Xiao to go first. She rushed over when she was done, and the first thing she saw was Linny hugging Rock Candy, as intimate as they could be. Aunt Ching paused, and Bingtang reacted as well when she heard Aunt Ching's voice. She wanted to get out of Linny's arms subconsciously, but after thinking about it, she realized that it wasn't a big deal. She was an authoritative figure in the Ice Palace, and she could do whatever she wanted. So, Rock Candy opened her eyes and smiled at Aunt Ching, a little embarrassed. The 2 dimples on her cheeks made people feel that she was very happy right now. It's fine, I'm just walking around. I'll go back first, you guys continue. Aunt Ching smiled and shook her head. She really didn't have enough brain power. Weren't Rock Candy and Linny enemies? Why were they hugging each other secretly? She really couldn't understand the world of the young. She was old, Aunt Ching came and left quickly, and Rock Candy was a little shy. She pushed Linny. Hey, you make the pill first. Okay. At this moment, Linny completely believed Bingtang. This little girl really dared to love and hate. Linny was a little surprised. Xiao Xiao then closed the door of the hidden treasure house. But I think Aunt Ching must have told the other disciples, so no one dares to come near here. But it's still good to be on guard. Okay. Xiao Xiao nodded and went to close the door. Linny, on the other hand, took out the automatic pesticide cauldron Han Jingjing gave him and placed it in front of him. Huh! What's this? It looks weird. Rock Candy looked at the thing Linny took out. You're tuning into the Phoenix Nights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.